Up, everybody. Welcome to Politics on the Rocks, episode 16. 16? 15? 16.
Yeah, 16.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
I think it's 16. I don't know. I'm your host, Nick. To my right, Chris.
Hello.
Bookie.
DJ.
Anyway, Cameron.
Yeah, good day. Oh, special guest. Jefferson's Ocean Age at Sea. We finally did it. The little special weekend. Nick's birthday, so Chris bought us something special.
Nice guy.
And it's pretty good. It's definitely got a little like salty caramel thing going on.
Yeah, it was the first thing I noticed when I took a sip
Yeah.
of it. It's got like a natural saltiness to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
It's really different.
It's cool. So they age this at sea on a barge, and every voyage has a little bit different of a voyage, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one like left Savannah, went to Tahiti, I believe.
Does it? Let me see the map on the back. Does it?
Oh, that'd be cool if they
Yeah, if
acted
it
out.
was like outlined,
I
that's
don't
kind of
think
cool.
they do.
No, but when you buy it, it tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
Oh, it does. Okay, so
Yeah,
what does it say
there
on
was
the box?
there was a little card.
We're Voyage
that was
23.
attached to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional or not, but the label is like offset, and it's really bothering me. You guys notice that?
I didn't notice that, no.
I didn't.
It's just my OCD, I guess.
I don't know. It's good though.
It is good. It's very good. I like it. Thanks,
good
Chris.
whiskey.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This week we're going to be talking about. We're going to do a little rundown of some of the upcoming council election. Some of the candidates. I guess what you said today or yesterday or today was the deadline for people to put their
The name in the hat?
Yeah. To throw their name in the ring. So we'll talk about some of them. We'll talk about Ron DeSantis, Daddy D, his proposed, or it went into effect, correct? Is an executive
It
order?
goes in effect sometime September.
Yeah, so he's going to be fining people up to $5,000. I don't know if it's a flat rate type deal, but up to $5,000 fine for asking or requiring any sort of vaccine paperwork. And then we're going what?
Oh, no, I'm just making weird faces.
And then we're also going to be talking about some of the local country clubs requiring employees to be vaccinated. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. I didn't read too much this week. This is like the fifth day of getting drunk, so.
So your short-term memory is not there right now.
Never is, but.
Yeah.
You sound a little run down, man.
Just keep going, bud.
Hey, you taking
keep it going.
You taking any vitamin D or zinc or ivermectin? Just to make sure you're all good?
I'm just dry basing ivermectin right into the veins.
About to start neighing on us right now.
Yeah. So where do you guys want to start out of those topics?
I guess we can start with I guess it makes sense to start with the country clubs requiring vaccination, and then kind of
Go into Daddy D.
Daddy D's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So I think there was just a news article that went around. This is for Indian River County. Just a couple country clubs on the beach side around here that have implemented mandatory vaccination for not only employees, but so they're country clubs, but also they have communities that, people live in with houses. That's how people live these days. And any contractor going in to do work on a house, I would assume it covers lawn care, pool care, all of those people as well have to be vaccinated to go in. The only people that I saw that were exempt would be deliveries. So USPS, UPS, FedEx.
Feds.
So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I don't know where you guys want to talk about it, but
Did it have like a list of which ones or?
it was two, right?
Yeah, it was Orchid Island
And John's Island?
Yeah, and John's Island both were strict about it,
And I
which
think-
is expected. Those are usually.
And I think they
they're
said
a little
Windsor is looking at implementing something similar.
Yeah. And
Well,
then-
Windsor has it for and this is a first-hand account, so this is the only reason I know this. Windsor has it for their employees currently. He will remain unnamed, but I have a friend who works at one of these. Like, I guess I just kind of gave it away, but he was let go as of September 1st for not getting the vaccine.
Not getting the jab.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, stand your ground.
Oh.
Whoa. So
Okay.
wait, are you implying that he should have just shot them?
Yes. Florida stand your ground law. That's what it is.
I don't know. It's definitely an interesting topic to discuss because at one point I'm like, that's fine if a business or a country club feels that's necessary to implement this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, a lot of these country clubs and housing areas do cater to an older population, so it's understandable they may be a little more scared, or they could be scared, or in general they just want all their employees to have the vaccine just to have it because vaccine, I guess. But yeah, I mean, just because you can understand where someone's coming from, or can understand it being okay that they can do this, you can definitely still disagree with the outcome that they're implementing. Mm-hmm. I think it's something people kind of miss.
Yeah, I think they're going to struggle, especially with requiring construction workers, which, I mean, that's kind of stupid, right? I mean, there's nobody in the house when you're renovating a house,
and even if you are, it's not like the homeowner standing on top of you while you're doing the work,
right?
Hopefully not. But I'm sure
you're gonna make the roofers get like, all right, good luck finding a roofing company that's gonna come do that work,
right?
I think their residents are gonna suffer because of it, and I don't know. I think it's not gonna last very long, especially in that sense. I think, like you said, with their employees, the people serving the food and things at their clubs and things like that, that makes a little bit more sense. I still don't agree with that, but I think it
has
it's
a little bit more sense.
A little bit more warranted. But when you're requiring construction contractors coming in to be vaccinated, I don't think that's going to work out for them very well.
Yeah, especially like lawn care. It's pretty much the same thing, right?
Right.
I mean, most lawn care businesses, especially right now with everybody, it's hard to find work. So you're grabbing people, 2 days before and just sending them to a house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just another layer for employers who do that kind of business, which is, lawn care, construction. Now that you're hiring a guy, trying to find someone to hire, which is hard right now. Now you got to make sure they're vaccinated if you're working in one of those places.
Mm.
So just another layer of.
My thought is they have a lot of pull because, I mean, if you're a lawn business in there, like
it's a huge account.
It's a huge account,
right?
You're making money, so they have some weight to say, hey, you want to work here, you got to be vaccinated, and so they have some weight as far as like pushing their weight around.
And now just
like
imagine if every lawn company together collectively said, "Fuck you."
Yeah,
just
cut your own
turns to a
grass.
jungle out there.
Cut your own grass.
Yeah,
Then I would start my own and just get vaccinated.
Seriously. Well, that's the thing too. Is one of two things can happen. Either they're not going to be able to find anyone to do the work, or
people will submit.
It's certain people are going to create their own company that caters to that certain request from them. So
yeah, which
what happens.
Which is good.
Yeah,
it should happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you said, it's it's their club. They're allowed to do whatever they want. So,
and I totally agree with that point as well. I mean, your club, you got the money, you set the rules, right? But like with all these vaccine mandates, like it seems like it's so just like, it's such like a blanket statement. Like there's gonna be people who like maybe shouldn't get this vaccine, especially with like people with heart conditions or doctors that tell them, hey, like I don't think this is really gonna make much of a difference for you.
Right.
People who have conditions that maybe shouldn't get the vaccine, and when you just mandate them.
But Cameron, this is the safest vaccine in the history of humanity.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's that, but. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think,
you're completely right, though. They're not making any sort of, like
exception.
nuance or exception to, like you just said.
Yeah. It's just like, either you get the vaccine or you're out. Which is, I don't know, kind of sad.
Yeah.
For those people,
Hopefully they are making exceptions for that, but yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be a blanket, like you guys said, where it's just, sorry, we can't take the risk of you being unvaccinated in here with our million billionaires who are 80 years old, swinging around in our club.
Yeah, I mean, that's
swinging around.
Reasonable that they would, not want to take the risk or whatever. But the other thing is, that they're not going to accept someone saying like, "Oh, I already got COVID," like,
even though it's
have an antibody test, and they're not going to accept that, even though that's
better.
proven to be better.
Perfectly scientifically reasonable, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys seen, this is a little off topic, but it's still, COVID related. Carnivore MD, he's been sharing a lot of like he shared that Harvard study that shows that, if you've been exposed to COVID, you have a 95% greater chance of not contracting the Delta variant versus vaccinated people. And he's kind of been outspoken on a lot of that stuff. But his account got deleted.
Oh wow, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and he's he had a
he
massive
wasn't really
following.
he wasn't talking COVID too much.
No, he
he's
wasn't.
He's more of like a nutrition guy,
Right, that's his name.
But yeah, no, they can't have a guy with MD next to his name not
going
along.
against the narrative.
Yeah,
Doesn't look good for the empire.
No.
Yeah, I'm interested too with these country clubs since they are requiring employees to get it as well. I mean, everybody's looking for work, and maybe they won't have an issue with it. But when it comes to like dining staff and waiters and cooks, what happens if half, or supposedly in the article it said like 5% will have to leave because they're not going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
If that's true or not, who knows? But I feel like that's a little leaning towards the possibly not true.
Yeah, that was.
You think it's higher?
Yeah, I would
was
assume
Orchid
so.
Island. I think that was Orchid Island that said that.
Was it?
5% of their staff were not going along with it.
Well, the way I look at it is like the people who are going to leave that are not going to get it are the people who are not in positions where they make a lot of money.
True.
So if I'm making $10 an hour doing dishes and I don't want to get the vaccine, then I can literally go to any restaurant in Vero Beach and get a job doing that. That's not going to require me to do it, right? So it's going to be like the lower level staff that's going to dip out,
Yeah,
or
man.
the people who maybe shouldn't get it in the first place. So, but like Brookie mentioned, that's going to put an extra workload on the people who are running the restaurants and things like that to find the staffing, because there is a staffing issue pretty much everywhere in River County and in the United States really. But so that's gonna put some extra work on. I mean, you work in a restaurant and stuff like that. It's not easy right now.
Yeah,
And then you put extra requirements on it. It's like it's just going to be
Especially
more of a struggle.
requirements so controversial,
Yeah.
I posted this on my personal account, but I say fucking just call their bluff. See how many of them are actually gonna, nut up and start firing people that don't do it. I mean, obviously that's something that you should assess yourself. But like you just said, there's a staffing issue right now. So how many of these companies are actually gonna, get rid of their employees? Like how much of it is like just them like saying, okay, get the vaccine or you're fired, and they're not actually planning on firing anybody. There's just kind of like, all right, whoever gets it, and whoever doesn't.
Right. Like,
doesn't.
are they going to be like looking for like a stamp of approval? Like, do you actually really get vaccinated?
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, just for an example, without going too much into what my, personal career is and stuff, the company that I work for, we provide a service for some of those communities that there isn't another company around here that does that. Mm-hmm. And it's
you guys have a kind of monopoly.
Yeah, it's stuff that's required. You can't continue with your construction if you don't get this step done. So, I mean, I was talking to a lot of our staff, and some of them are vaccinated already, but very few, because this is construction type work. So most of those people aren't of the mind of getting vaccinated. It's just the way it is. But so yeah, I don't know how they're gonna work around that when we tell them, okay, we're not coming, I guess.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Right, because you guys are busy too. It's not like it's not like you need that business. So if they're going to discriminate against you, and it just goes back to some of the stuff we talked about in previous episodes, where we're like, we're for discrimination in that sense. Like a company should have the right to say, like, yeah, we don't want to work with, or like it's our company, we can decide who our client base is. But equally so, as a contractor or whatever, you also have the right to not work with that company. So,
Yeah.
all for discrimination here on Politics on the Rocks.
That's it.
yeah.
To make decisions.
More than anything, I'm just excited to hopefully see what happens out of it.
Yeah, it will be really
To see what companies actually nut up and do it, and what they'll
or just
just the fallout of everything.
How long it lasts, if it affects what companies work for who, and
Yep.
yeah.
Sometimes, and this is something that Dave Smith and Michael Malice bring up a lot. sometimes, do you guys feel like sometimes we maybe get too lost in like
The sauce.
Yeah, too lost in the sauce of libertarianism and anarchism. Like, is this something that we should be like adamantly against, even though, you know, like, oh, the company has the right to, like, is this something that we should just be like, okay, yeah, I get it, you know, they have the right, but like, this is not okay.
Yeah, like you get lost in like the philosophy.
Yeah, like, are we giving these companies like too much like grace?
I mean, in this case, I don't think so. I mean, I think we're right in saying we disagree with it. Like we're not saying we agree with it, but we're saying that you know, they have a right to do whatever they think is necessary, and they're going to bear the consequences of whatever happens.
Yeah, I feel like in some situations that may apply, but I think, you know, that's like what libertarians are like founded on or grounded on.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So I mean,
I'm more or less playing devil's advocate because I know it's something that
I know what
a lot of the you know, the bigger.
I see you, devil.
Yeah,
I think when the problem arises whenever it's like the government that's mandating these things, because
that's a good
then
point.
it applies to everyone. You don't have a choice to opt out. That's where the problem comes in.
You just explain taxes.
Or businesses that are heavily influenced by the government, like Facebook and so forth.
Yeah,
right.
And so then, and that's a lot of times. But he brings that point up is you're arguing like it's a private company when it really isn't. These are private companies. I think it's just gonna be the people who are in charge of staffing these places are just going to have a more difficult time doing it.
Well, it's actually interesting because a lot of them actually, like, they are private in the sense of, like, you know, they're not, like, publicly traded. But
right.
A lot of these clubs are actually owned by the members.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess I'd be interested to see, and I don't know how we would find this out, if that was something that went to vote, like, you know what I mean? If it was something that the members voted on.
Like the member council probably
voted on. Yeah. Because I know when I worked at Grand Harbor when I was younger, a lot of the decisions made for the entire, you know, was from the, you know, their little
like board type thing.
Yeah, they have like a little council, you know, makes them feel special.
The council
and stuff.
of elders.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, if you're 80 years old, you only got 10 years at best or whatever. You get the vaccine. You don't want some, young cat running around. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think it's going to add an extra workload, I think, for the people staffing. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous, though, too, because, like, you know, my buddy who worked at one of these clubs who, you know, is being let go, he was saying that, you know, these rules, this vaccine mandate is across, like, you know, like we said earlier, it's across the board, no exception. So, like, even guys, like, in fucking like maintenance that they don't even see the members. They just work on the golf, you know, like the golf course equipment, like, you know, just doing maintenance on the equipment. Like they're making them even get mandate like vaccines. Like,
jeez. Yeah, that's the thing.
They're in a fucking shop all day working on, you know,
golf carts,
golf carts and, you know, lawnmowers, and they have to get the vaccine. That just makes no sense.
Yeah, they have a right to do what they want, but you're making life unnecessarily difficult for the employees there. You know, they have a right to leave and go find work elsewhere. And like you said, there's a lot of work to be found nowadays. So I think they're going to lose a lot of good employees, and their quality of service is definitely going to drop.
Yeah. That's a super good point for those who are looking at the situation and being like, oh, now I don't have a job. You're not going to have any problem finding another job. And if you're looking at yourself and you're like, I don't have many skills, well, maybe this is a wake-up call to maybe get some more skills.
Right, yeah. It's a wake-up call or just a really awesome opportunity to
learn something different.
To learn, learn a trade, learn something useful.
People are hiring.
Yep.
You know?
Shit. I have, you know, friends in the construction business, and they're hurting. You know, people don't want to do trades anymore.
Yeah,
it's a shame because there's so much.
You could start framing a house probably within a week.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
They'll pay you $25-$30 an hour.
And they'll give you a $600 sign-on bonus, you know?
Yep.
And probably some Dutch rudders in the back. Yeah. Ask for it.
Interesting times.
Oh, my God. Come here. I'm going to burn you with my cigar.
Oh, man. So this is a great point to jump into what Daddy D did, which doesn't really affect what we just talked about, but it's adjacent in the sense that he enacted through executive order a up to or a $5,000. We're not totally sure yet if it was flat or depending on the situation. A $5,000 fine for companies who ask or declare to see a vaccination proof to customers, or I forget what the other one was.
I think employees, right?
No, it wasn't employees. It was
okay.
Employees were exempt. It was just customers and guests, maybe.
Okay.
Was the other wording for, which may be politically defined as like someone who's not buying anything but looking.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Or a
right. Like you're
customer-
browsing or something.
or a
yeah.
customer may be someone who's actually purchasing something.
Coming to a gas station to pee. They're
Yeah.
like, where's your vaccine card?
Exactly. So it's interesting.
So these are just like private companies. He's gonna find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm interested what this, how this plays out for instance, my college, Florida Tech, they are, I got an email from them before the semester started saying how there's a hold on my account, and I was like, yeah, I looked into it, and I emailed somebody, and they emailed me back. Apparently, I have to provide vaccine records. And, I told them, because I have an exemption, so I'm staying remote, so I don't have to go onto campus, and I asked this person I was emailing, does this apply for remote access students who won't be on campus, for the entirety of the semester? And they were like, yeah, it applies to everybody. You have to send in the vaccine records. And I just emailed them back. I'm like, no. I was like, no, I'm not coming on campus. Like, no, I'm not. Sorry. Like, they're like, all right, well, just know, it could have, whatever implications for whatever. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what do you, like, you're not going to give me my diploma because I'm graduated, give me my fucking diploma. You're going to hold it against me because I didn't send you my vaccine records?
Wow.
And at that point, I won't be there anymore, so I won't really fucking care. I'll just send them to them, but...
I remember, when I went to school, there was certain requirements for when you were living in on-campus housing. You had to get, meningitis.
Yeah, and that's...
meningitis shot and tetanus.
And those are, tried and true vaccines. This is,
Right.
those aren't brand new.
Been around for decades, at least,
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, like ivermectin, yeah.
Right. Well, those things also are more understandable because you're living in dorm rooms where you're, literally just putting your schmutz in wherever you can find it.
Yeah, just fucking everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
So-
find a hole in the wall.
So with the old Daddy D dropping this one on the businesses, is this a purely a flex that's not gonna be able to really hold ground and gonna get kind of written off pretty quickly, similar to
The school mask.
the school mask, whatever he just did. But is this gonna dissipate? But it looks good.
I think so.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean probably right.
I think.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think somebody who you guys enjoy, and I enjoy him sometimes as well, is Chris Sabatini.
Yeah, or,
Is that his
Anthony.
name?
Anthony.
Frick, man.
Yeah, he's
sorry, all the cool guys are named Chris. I know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh,
But no, so Sabatini brings up a lot, and whenever he talks or he, posts on Instagram or or Twitter, is he wants the legislator of Florida to make these actual law. Because what DeSantis is doing, he's doing executive orders, which aren't as
Binding.
binding. They're not Teflon like a law that would be placed in.
right.
So they're easily disputed by the courts. And what Sabatini's brought up a lot lately is the legislator needs to have, what does he say? Emergency meetings. He needs to put no mandates for masks, no mandates for vaccines in actual law, so it stands, tough or stands, whatever you want.
Right,
to
it
say.
just has more weight to it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I think that's true. These are things that executive orders I don't agree with because it's a very weird precedent to set.
Yeah.
Thankfully, a lot of the courts, look at what the governor is allowed to do or, whatever positions making these executive orders has the power to do. And if they feel they don't have the power to do this, they will just, yeet those things away. Then obviously it gets into a legal battle where they appeal them, and then people who are like fucking Daddy D, Ron DeSantis, yeah, say fuck to the fuck you to the judge who said no, and then it's this 10-year thing when it ends up being it just gets pushed out anyways. Which I'm coming back to all this is stating that Anthony Sabatini is correct, where if you are for these type of more freedom in the sense where people can't oppose these things on you in the sense of government, you should want your legislator to do this, and you should reach out to your representative and say, hey, why aren't you meeting and why aren't you bringing this up?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where things actually change in the shit system we have.
And I think this is one of those cases of, like, what Nick brought up earlier where, like, you know, how do we feel about this? What's, you know, is this a case of government overstepping or, but this is one of a case where they're kind of like imposing more freedom by, but in a way, because then what if certain people only want to go to restaurants that do require vaccines?
Right. Well, that's what I was just going to say. You know, it's bringing more freedom to, you know, us as customers, or how you said guests, but it also kind of restricts in a way these businesses from operating how they see fit, you know? So it's kind of like, you know, like I was saying before, like, do we as, you know, libertarian anarchists or whatever, like, do we get too lost sometimes in the, you know, the whole arguments and, you know, splitting hairs where...
Yeah.
So,
the only problem with that, like, definition of freedom is, like, it requires somebody else to sacrifice their freedom in order for that person to get their freedom.
Right.
You know, because you can make that, I don't know, you could say the freest type of situation right now is everybody gets vaccinated and less people will get sick, and that way most people have more freedom because less people, or more people will be able to do whatever they want or whatever.
Right.
But it's requiring you to sacrifice your
freedom of choice.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, like, you know, that definition of freedom is a little bit, like, odd and flimsy, and it requires...
It's almost like saying I only want to eat at a restaurant where white people are at, right?
I mean...
That's true.
Yeah.
Which comes back to our discrimination stuff, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, should it be allowed? I don't know. But I definitely wouldn't go to any restaurant that even considered it. So.
Yeah, well, see, I mean...
and it's a lot like when Dr. Ron Paul in, what was it, North Carolina or whatever, he said, you know, if heroin was illegal tomorrow, how many of you would actually go out and do it? Same thing with that. Like, if companies tomorrow could discriminate based on race, how many of you would go and support that?
Yeah.
Probably not many of you.
Right.
I, for one, would. So,
I'm like,
a joke, guys. It's a joke.
I'm like, you don't know any white people in your business? Fucking yes.
I would go to the restaurant that
I'll pay
only
double.
house Mexicans, and I would just get real. Well, I mean, I am pretty tan. I think I could pass off.
Yeah, the mustache.
Yeah.
You can't get the mustache.
Yeah.
You got
I
that
can do
going
it.
for you.
I think if you
learn
shaved your
Spanish.
head and like wore like you know, the really baggy Dickies with like the high white socks, you could pass for a cholo, dude.
Or you just go the other way and just, like, wear cowboy boots and a sombrero.
Yeah, with the
You could be a vaquero.
with the jeans tucked into the boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then you're culturally appropriated. I don't wanna do that
You
either.
can't celebrate other
Can't win.
cultures, or
Can't
you're
win nowadays.
appropriating it.
I'll let you borrow my sombrero.
Yeah, I don't know, Cameron. When it comes to, like, and Nick as well, when people bring up, like, do libertarians get lost in the sauce? I think they do, and sometimes it does get a little weird, like, or when it comes to Facebook, right? Because then it's something that government's superly entrenched in, and at that point, is it really a private company? Probably not. And then we should also be against that, vehemently, exactly. So we're not just saying it's a private company, they can do what they want, but we're saying no, it's actually like companies in bed with government. We should be against this, and we should be out loud about it so it doesn't happen. Or you know
who I wouldn't mind being in bed with? Tulsi Gabbard. She's pretty sexy.
True.
Her husband's like a supermodel, though, basically. So
Yeah.
So you're saying I have a chance?
Doesn't mean
Yes.
it. But what I'm trying to bring up
she's
is
tired of those washboard abs.
just because
She wants a kid.
we do get lost in the sauce doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Because what I think a lot of libertarians or freedom-minded people hopefully stand on, I think they do stand on a lot, is principle. And I think it's very important. Because when you are a principled, a lot of times, you will get lost in the sauce because you're thinking at a principle standpoint of,
Right.
just because I don't agree with this thing and it may be bad for me, I still principally have to be by it.
Right.
So that's how I am.
Yeah, I love
Damn
it.
libertarians and their principles, right?
That's it, bro. That's
Hopefully.
it, man. No, that's it, bro.
There's some
That's
fake
it.
ones, but
And
yeah.
no other political party has them, so I mean, we might as well, right?
Yeah,
Right.
somebody's
So it
gotta have
comes
them.
to the point where, like, yeah, if half the restaurants in Vero Beach want to say, hey, you have to have a vaccine to eat with us, well, yeah, I think that's stupid. And obviously I can't eat there now. Or even if I was vaccinated, I wouldn't eat there, hopefully, because I'm principled. But now it opens up a whole new market to where non-vaccinated restaurants can be like, hey, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Now, do they do better than unvaccinated restaurants? Well,
Yeah.
guess what? We'll find out.
Definitely in some counties, that's definitely will take place.
Yeah.
In Miami, probably not. And in Vero Beach, it's gonna make a huge
Definitely.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see where I'm going to open a restaurant that you can only dine with us if you have COVID.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's going to be,
I
yeah,
thought you
it's
were
going to be a
say
hotspot.
if you were unvaccinated.
A pure,
No, you have to have COVID. We're going to have people at the door checking you. They're going to be,
If you don't have a fever, you can't come in.
yeah, the people checking are going to be COVID positive.
And if you're not positive, they cough on you right away.
yeah, and say come back in 4 to 5 business days.
Oh, Lord.
Come back when you got the chills.
Yep, the kitchen staff's all going to have COVID. They're going to
my
be
God.
fingering all your food after they,
lick their fingers.
yep.
Yeah. Well,
So-
let me know when it opens.
See, that I have a problem with.
And we'll market it in a
I was
way
okay
that
with
like,
the COVID part.
yeah, we're gonna market it in a way that makes sense. We're gonna be like, listen, come here, get COVID, and then you're immune, you know, and there's your vaccine, and we'll charge extra for that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a better vaccine.
Yeah, it'll be a $25 immunity charge every time you come dine with us.
It's like when they had those.
COVID clinic eatery.
Yeah, I think there's an
Sorry.
untapped market that people just they're not seeing it in the right light. Where me, entrepreneur, business mind, I see this. I see the void in the market. Is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, fill it.
Look, just
I'm
to
gonna
make
fill that void so hard.
just to make a point before Nick went on his rant about COVID restaurants.
Not to cut you off.
Not to cut you off. No, but like you're right. There is a really hard principle stance in like the libertarian freedom movement. The issue is if we just had the money to match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's always been the issue. Is just
Yeah,
the
freedom-minded
money.
people are all poor.
Yeah, we don't have any money. They don't have any money.
We don't like
That's
to
it.
rob people,
Speak
Yeah.
for yourself, dude. I have like 1/80th of a Bitcoin.
Oh, yes.
Freedom people
Well,
are,
that's actually a lot.
are either poor.
Oh yeah, well shit. What? That's $20,000. What is it? It's $40,000 right now. So 1/80th. So,
Yeah, I think it jumped up. It's like in the well,
10,000
last time I looked
and-
at it, it was like in the 50s.
oh yeah. I don't know. We're mining Ethereum, so
Fucking running those.
they making
Ethereum.
$1,600 a month.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I wish we had. I wish we had the money to back. Something.
Yeah.
My COVID restaurant.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
It's one of
Yeah.
those things where a lot of freedom people either they don't have the money. When we say not to have the money, we're not saying people are poor. We're saying they're not a part of a team that's been established for the past 200 years that has billionaires backing them.
And when he's
And
saying that,
parties.
he means Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
Correct. And also, freedom people typically just don't give a shit. They're so principled, they just are wherever they are, and they just like don't bother themselves with anything that's going on.
Yeah.
There's something to be said too, and there's been kind of a heated discussion from a guy that I used to listen to a lot. Jason Stapleton. He used to have a libertarian podcast, but this week he kind of like started like a massive fight, kind of like within the Libertarian Party, and he was suggesting that
I like a good
like
political
really
fight.
like true like liberty is like having like financial freedom, right? And that like we're as libertarians we're suggesting that like the best way for most people to have more liberty is by something like the Mises Caucus and having like a real liberty movement and more people getting in politics to have more liberty. But anyways, he made this whole stink to make this point as far as like liberty, real liberty can be founded in being financially free and being able to move around and do what you want. And on some level, I agree with him. And I think this is a great transition into our next kind of subject in this podcast, is where I think it really, really matters, and I think we all understand this, and I think the Mises Caucus also understands this, is local government. Local government, there's not that much money in local government. I mean, you're making, what, $30,000-$40,000 salary. There's not like a bunch of
That's how much we're paying these assholes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's too
I think
much.
it's pretty
That's
close.
too much.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. But it's like it's not like there's no huge companies backing them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some advantages that we talked about before, but like local government and the stuff that happens in your council meetings and your school board, or the stuff that really affects you on the day to day. Not really so much the stuff that happens higher up, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think from that point of view, I think it does matter, and I think we do have to pay attention, you know. So maybe this is a good transition into talking about.
Yeah.
Do we want to go there?
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing.
Let me pull up my notes.
Not to bash on Jason Stapleton at all, because I think he's a smart guy. But he says that, and I think he's correct, the more money you have, the more freedom you can have. I mean, look at our politicians. They're pretty free because they have a lot of money.
And influence.
And nobody
correct.
holds them accountable anymore.
Correct. But Stapleton also benefits by selling programs that help you make money. So that's probably one reason why he pushes that. Again, I'm not saying it's the only reason, because I think he's a decent guy. Also, the fact you have to have some empathy for people who don't have the ability, or maybe it's not their life goal to be financial free, in the sense where they make so much money they can just buy their way out of things, or they can put themselves in positions where they don't have to worry about stuff going on, to want to make a difference so those people aren't under the boot of government. Not everybody can be a Schindler when it comes to being in a position, right, in World War II.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree, and I just wanted to add, like you said, you know, you see that a lot where people will advocate for a certain thing, and then conveniently they sell something that'll help you do that thing.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes people just
are passionate.
They're passionate about it. They believe this is the thing that's going to help you, and so they want to put their product out there that's actually gonna help people. So I don't know.
It's like one of the first
make
things.
your own judgments, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's one of those like the first things I do when I'm like for instance, you know, I mean, I kind of ruined it this weekend with my birthday, but you know, I started the carnivore diet, and you know, obviously the one of the I don't want to call him the pioneer, because there's been a lot of other, you know, guys who have done just as much, if not more, research than him, and been, you know, advocates sooner than he was. But Carnivore MD, you know, Dr. Paul Saladino, that was like one of the first things when I started listening to him and looking at his research, was like, okay, does this guy sell anything? Right. You know, like, is he selling some sort of whatever? Mm-hmm. And you know, it turns out that he does. He sells a basically freeze dried and then ground organs, you know, to get, like, you know, that's like, a lot of people don't understand that, like, when you go on the carnivore diet, that organs are like a very big part of it, because
vitamins,
right, they have the vitamins that you would normally get from plants. So you know, it's kind of important, but he sells the you know, the organs for that. But like, and like, you know, Chris was just saying, like, some people are just very passionate about it. Like, he is like diehard advocate for the carnivore diet, so he sells, you know, the organs. But
and it's his expertise, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's why it cracks me up. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about the carnivore diet, and always the first thing is like, oh, your cholesterol, this, that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, yeah. It's like this guy's done decades of research on this and published all these medical, you know, journal, you know, all this stuff, and it's like, you're right, you debunked it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 seconds, really.
Yeah, 10 seconds. You're just so much smarter than him.
Yeah, nutrition is weird. Not to make this a nutrition podcast, but it's weird where it, probably a lot of things do, mimics politics in a way. Where
big time.
Everybody has an opinion.
Right. And it's all heavily, you know, influenced by your funder. So
yeah, that, and also where it's the fact that people follow these party lines, or they follow these, you know, cult lines, whatever you want to call them. People follow certain diets, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And if you just do what you want, or not do what you want, but if you don't care enough to spout those nonsense or spout whatever you believe in fully, you're probably gonna be happier. So yeah, I don't know.
So what was our next topic? Abortion?
I think so, right?
Oh gosh. Did you see that thing I posted today? It was like Texas passes a bill that sentences any woman guilty of giving a man a blue balls to the electric chair. And they got put something along the lines of like, not having blue balls is literally healthcare.
Yeah.
It's true.
Maybe next.
Yeah, we
episode
should.
we'll talk about
We
abortion.
should skim over that one.
We'll
But,
do a deep dive next episode.
Because since DeSantis is talking about it. But
apparently Florida wants to do something similar.
of course they do. But
I don't know. That bill is pretty. There's some really crazy shit in there.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
problems for sure.
Yeah.
we'll probably next episode we'll look into it. But so next topic we can kind of do a semi-deep, semi-skim dive of the candidates for Vero Beach City
You
Council.
just contradicted yourself.
I know,
in
right?
Literally one sentence after the other.
Again, this whiskey's
Good. Good.
But so this week we're gonna look into the Vero Beach candidates for City
Yeah.
Council.
You want me to just go through this this little presentation you put together, and we just talk about it afterwards?
I think we'll go by person.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I just want to state as well, next week we'll be looking into Sebastian City Council. So for Indian River County,
Yep.
not Fellsmere because
Yeah.
no one
Who
cares.
cares?
Yeah.
Dude, Fellsmere's the Wild West. That's why I want to move
Fellsmere
out there.
shouldn't have a city
It
council.
looks like the Wild
what is
West.
those?
Fellsmere is like a great example of anarchism.
Yeah.
I feel like
It
there's
should be.
no rules out there.
It's
Even
just-
though the cops out there are like the strictest. You get caught going 4 miles an hour over, you're getting pulled over.
Trying to make some money, bro.
Yeah, right.
They got no tax.
Yeah.
No tax coming in, especially because most of the people out there are illegal immigrants.
Oh my God, Cameron, you can't say that.
Okay.
This is
So
very-
the
diverse.
city council
my
of
bad.
Vero,
I'm just kidding.
there's 7 people running. So who's our first person?
All right, so first on the list we have Taylor Dingle. He's you have here 27-ish. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
He's a younger guy. I think he's
We don't necessarily have to read off exactly what I said. It was pretty much shorthand. So
well. No, I'm just gonna read it all
Okay.
how you have
Look, you
it.
did
So
some
if you have
very
something
impressive-
racist in here,
Wait, hold on.
it's getting read.
Wait, why don't we just let Book open this up and start?
All right, fuck you. You
I
don't want me
mean,
to do it?
Shit.
no, I'm just
Oh
saying.
yeah, no, fuck me. Go ahead, Boogie, do it.
How don't
No,
we get
I'm
some-
just saying-
No. I get it. Go ahead.
all right. So the first person is Taylor Dingle. He's very young. He's in his late 20s. Mid-20s.
Wow, thank God you're reading it
Yeah.
because I didn't just say
Exactly.
Dangle.
He's again since he's young, he's never been in politics for the most part. He's what's he look here?
that. I don't think that's the worst thing though, right?
No,
Yeah.
not
No,
at all.
I personally like that.
Yeah.
Because if you look at now, those people are on their way out, bro.
It's a good thing,
No.
but it doesn't mean he's a good person.
No,
He may be a good person. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's not, but
could be a
again,
27-year-old Satan worshiper. So.
or someone who
You
just
get
wants
that sometimes.
to rule.
Yeah.
But he works at a local club, John's Island, and also on his income report, he put somewhere for New York, a club in New York.
A golf cuck.
Yeah. So
He might do the where he travels.
yeah, I don't know
He
if he
goes
does
up
that.
in the summer months up there and then comes back in the winter.
Yeah, but you have to be a resident
What's that?
here to be on city
Young
council.
snowbird.
yeah.
but if
You
own
can still be a
property-
resident. I mean, he's probably only.
Just gotta own a
I'm saying
property.
if he does do the whole travel thing, you're only up there for a couple months out of the year.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can still be a resident here.
He was endorsed by Kaylee Tuck, which is House of Representative, Republican, and he was endorsed when he tried to get on the council when Graves left by the Indian River County Conservative Club. We have a couple quotes by him. and
He founded the Young Republicans in this county, right?
that is correct.
Okay.
So he's a founder of the Young
The
Republicans.
young retards of
So-
Indian River County.
You guys read his quotes that we have. Again, since he's not been in politics and he hasn't done a lot of, I guess, media, there's not a lot to go off of unless we talk to him, which hopefully we will soon. But what do you guys think? Based off a very minimal amount.
From what
Gotta pull
I
him
read,
in.
he's, he's young. He's just now getting into this. I think he does a lot of beating around the bush with his answers.
As most Republicans do.
Right. He's,
and politicians.
You know,
yeah.
he-
Yeah, politicians in general.
yeah, he doesn't give a lot of straightforward answers.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
reading his.
Like I said, before we started this podcast, like if I went into office, I'm telling you exactly how I feel, and I really don't care if you vote for me or not because I don't want a career in politics. You know,
Right.
So you can tell he wants to lay a good foundation and not make himself an enemy right off the bat. You know,
Yeah. Like his answer or his quote here from the increase on the bed tax. So I didn't know what this was until Bookie just told me before the show. I guess it's a tax on hotels. Is it hotels and condos or just hotels?
As far as I know, it's just hotels.
Okay, so I guess
But it could
it's a tax on. They probably do it by room. It's a whatever, just an extra tax they have to pay per room based on how big they are, whatever. But his answer when asked about it was, Vero is at a critical juncture right now. We have experienced an unimaginable global pandemic that impacted city residents and local businesses. Instead of imposing a new tax, we should be rallying behind those afflicted. So what is your, are you
For it or against it?
right? I mean, it kind of sounds like he's against it, but like he doesn't say like, no, I'm not for this. He just says instead of a new tax, we should be rallying behind those afflicted. What like
constitutes what?
Yeah, what does rallying
Yeah.
behind those afflicted mean?
And again, he's young, so maybe he doesn't necessarily know how to answer a full question. Not that he doesn't know how, but he looks at what other politicians do, and that's a pretty political answer to give.
Right.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish he'd be like, no, I'm not even for the bed tax. Why is there even a bed tax?
Like literally just a one-word answer. No.
Yeah.
He was a little better on the Three Corners project, though. Dingle said he opposes apartments or condos being built on the site. Vero has an incredible opportunity to develop an area for all residents that could impact the community for the next 100 years. I like that answer. That was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I don't agree with it, but yeah, it's a good answer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't think it matters
businesses.
what's built there. It's whatever is needed.
Right.
I don't want the city to have that property anymore. Whoever's going to pay the most for it, as is right now, please sell that to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would hate to see a condo building go up there. I mean, I think there's 100 different things I could think of that would be super fucking cool there. But like you said, if somebody comes in and wants to buy that property, pay for the demolition of the power plant, and then pay to build something there, that's their right. So
yeah, that area is kind of lame. Like
That's
it's like
my thought.
You're right on the river there in Vero on the mainland, and there's really nothing. There's like a few restaurants, and it's like all like superstores and stuff. And housing. And so it really is kind of lame. Like the 14th Street is really where all the action's at right now, and it's not really a cool area. Like it's not on the water. It's not, So yeah, it would be nice to have a cool area where you can, like people can go and enjoy it on the river in Vero.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I don't know if I want to say it's an issue, but that is sort of something that Vero doesn't have. I mean, we have very limited, like, access to water. You know what I'm saying? On the river. I mean, it's almost all residential. We have just an absolute massive amounts of like housing and stuff on the river. Which I'm not opposed to or whatever. But it would be nice to have something other than houses there. But I mean, I don't know. Some of the ideas I think sound really stupid. But I mean, I don't have any problem with businesses and stuff being in there. Having, more businesses and
that's a big piece of
restaurants.
property. You could have a lot of really cool shit there.
Yeah, you could definitely have that.
You'd be right next to the shit plant, though.
Well, I mean, it's going to be gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's
the
not
Three
really
Corners.
an
That's
issue.
right. They're moving that.
Yeah, so it's a ton of property, and I think if you're wise, you can make a lot of money off it. Hopefully they're wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to get too much on this topic. My only thing about people who are against the condos going there is there's I don't know how to word this. There's a increase / heightened amount that you pay for renting and around the area currently, and everybody complains about it. But one way you get around that is adding more places for people to rent. And if you have a nice condo or condo in general go up, and say they put a nice one there, well, now if they charge, 20% more than what they're charging 10 streets over, then in theory, that place that's been there now has to reduce their price a little bit if they want people to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's more options now. Well, now you set a higher price in a nicer area. So again, it's just one of those things where, I think who I read it, maybe it was Austin Peterson, complained that people are always against the current price for rent, but they're never for increasing the amount of places to rent in the city.
Right. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if it's needed.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why the price is high is because the supply is low.
correct.
Yeah.
Either that or mandates dictating that the price be high, or well, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm going opposite there. But to go back to that, typically the mandates dictating that the price be low results in low supply. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a never-ending battle. But we won't get into that today.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you said, it's people just have their opinions, and they don't necessarily always think about what the consequences might be, or what the need might be right now. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the need is, that's what it should go, as far as I see. But
Yeah, and I think someone who's willing to dish out probably the nice chunk of change for that area is going to know what to do with that place better than 5 people sitting in a city council.
I mean, this place is growing. This place is growing so much right now. They're probably going to knock that thing down in 20 years and build something different, anyways. So who cares?
All right. We have 6 more of these to get through. So
yeah, let's go.
That's in regards to the anytime you hear us talked about the 3 Corners project, that's kind of what we're talking about. So we just kind of because that's a big issue right now in Vero Beach. So at least for the council. All right, go ahead with Tracy.
So Tracy Lockwood Zudans, she was an Indian River Hospital District Board of Trustee. She resigned beginning of this year, so January 31st. She has no listed source of income, which isn't a bad or good thing, just stating a fact that they have to represent when they sign up to run. A little quote about her. She's a fiscal conservative, recognized for her efforts by the Taxpayers Association of Indian River County. She is a mother of 4, a University of Florida graduate, an active volunteer, and philanthropist. Her husband, Val Sudans, was mayor of Vero around 2019. I think he served for 1 term. Quote from her is, I'm proud of my service as a hospital district trustee, especially in returning robust health care in the Gifford community. As a city council member, I will always put the people of Vero Beach first. Our citizens need elected officials who will protect their freedoms and be good stewards of their taxpayer dollars. That's really all the information we have currently on her.
Yeah, and I was just saying, like, it's going to be, like, sweet to see a more in-depth, like, response to questions, because right now it's so early, they just started running, or they just put their names in the hat, so we got, like, a very brief understanding of who they are, right?
When's the actual election?
Sometime in November.
Oh, right.
Okay. Also something I was talking to Book about, and I think we definitely should do this, and I just want to bring it up, so, we should write our own questions.
Yeah, I think writing our own questions would be a pretty interesting and cool thing to do, and kind of send out to all the people running for Vero and Sebastian. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't think they'll fucking get back to us, but
yeah, I'd be interested in what kind of creative stuff we can come up with.
Yeah,
that'd be the reason I want to do it. It's mainly just to get away from the typical. What's your number one thing you're looking to do when you're in office? And
yeah.
It's like, hey, this actual issue. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, right. like if there were aliens to invade Vero Beach, like how would they react?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff I want.
Are we going to use like direct energy weapons, or
would you rather go have sex with 1,000 guys or 1 animal?
Right.
That's a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the aliens. I mean, if they invade, do you go out there as Vero Beach, or are you joining a one world government to fight the aliens? I think that's an important question.
Right. Yeah, that is a good one because
No, but on a serious note, I think we should do that. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be interesting to see if they respond, and if they don't, then we'll tell everybody that they're a socialist and whatever.
Yeah. And they should be flogged whenever they're in public.
Then all 50 people that listen to this will know they're a socialist.
Yeah,
50,000.
What was that one governor? It wasn't Lightfoot. That other black gremlin-looking lady, she was saying that if you see, Republicans out to get in their face.
Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters, yeah, that's right. That crazy fucking
California
lunatic bitch.
Jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, so John E. Coltugno.
Yeah, however you say it. So, John, he's ran for city council twice and he's lost. He has been part of the City Utilities Commission. He was the commissioner, actually. During the last election for city council, the island was a big supporter of him. Found that out, but he still lost. The biggest issues he's brought up for him are the wastewater treatment plant, the relocation of it, and the cost. successful resolution of the Three Corners property, the Vero Beach Marina refurbishment project, the water quality in the lagoon, and the neighborhood and public safety. And then obviously, you know,
I feel like that last one's got, I mean, it's not silly because it's obviously a good thing, but like,
it's like saying like, I want my wife to live. Like, I don't have to say that. Like, it should be.
Yeah,
known.
well, I mean, not only that, I feel like crime in Indian River County is like a statistical 0, right?
Compared to other
Yeah, I
places,
guess,
for sure.
Yeah, compared to
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
the
we have,
north
like-
and southern counties.
Yeah, we have like the lowest crime rate in the
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these like
Hold
preemptive questions and subsequent answers are kind of like pretty
Lame.
milquetoast. Yeah.
Yo, super milquetoast, bro. Super milquetoast.
But I don't know. What do you, there's definitely a little more to hear.
Do we want to read his little quote thing, his little excerpt?
Yeah, you can read it.
Oh, I have to. All right. My ongoing civic involvement has uniquely prepared me to address the key issues facing Vero Beach: the wastewater treatment plant relocation, Three Corners development, the marina refurbishment, and the ongoing issue of lagoon health. Since the last election, I have continued to serve our community as vice chair of the Utilities Commission, as a member of the Three Corners Steering Committee, and as a volunteer public policy advocate for the Alzheimer's Association, advocating to Representative Grawl, Senator Mayfield, and Congressman Posey. I also serve as an appointee to Governor Desantis' State Health Improvement Plan, tasked with addressing plans around Alzheimer's disease and related dementia. My current participation in local advisory agencies have distinctly enabled me to recognize the emerging issues of public safety and quality of life issues now facing Vero. This is especially important now that the surrounding area explodes with growth. More than ever, the City Council is in serious need of a fresh perspective. We should be planning now for the future and becoming proactive versus reactive in addressing the concerns of our citizens.
Yeah.
Exploding growth, huh?
A lot of words, not a lot of
Substance. Yeah.
Exploding.
I just wanted to add, since we're on the the subject of this particular guy, one of the things that he said was, so they asked him about if he's in favor of a citywide mask mandate, and I thought his answer was pretty interesting because he basically said yes, but without saying yes. He said, I wear a mask and I also encourage others to wear one. I do have a sense of protecting my community. The low incidence of infection and death rates can be related to this community that cares for its people and good common sense practices like wearing a mask. And then he goes, now with the governor's recent executive order, the issuance of a mask mandate is a moot point. So he's kind of saying like, yeah, well, we can't really do it anymore, but he would support it almost. I think
boy.
that's probably why the island people like him. But yeah, no, that's literally I was telling you guys, there was a lady running for county council outside of the library, and she asked me to sign something in order to get her name on the ballot, and that was the one question I asked her. I was like, do you support a mask mandate? And she was like, no. And I was like, all right, I'll sign your paper.
It's a good litmus test.
Yeah.
I typically don't sign whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah, I usually don't either, but she asked me twice, so I was like, she asked me on the way in, and I ignored her, and then on the way out, I felt kind of bad.
Oh, man. I don't know. So, John's an interesting character. It's, yeah, I don't, he seems like a pretty typical governmental employee slash person who's involved a lot of, he even states it, right? A lot of, advisory boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I know.
A lot of authoritarian stuff.
Yeah. But a question for me, for him, would be, you're a part of all these advisory boards and committees. So would you even have enough time to, I know, like, city council's not a full-time job, but still. I don't know. Is that, like...
Right, you're
more
involved with so much, and now you want to be the...
part of a city council?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question to keep in our back minds. But it's just, I don't know.
I feel like we should be writing... Should I be writing these down as we go through this?
Sure, why not?
It's too much work.
Write that down.
But,
I'm not doing that.
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because we'll see a couple of people in here who are pretty similar to him, where they've been part of a lot of committees or currently are in committees and advisory boards. I don't know. And these people love, like, helping people so much that they just want to be part of more.
I guess.
I don't know.
They just want to advise their asses off.
Yeah.
They just want to advise so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just here to advise you.
Yeah.
It's interesting and something for people to think about.
Don't resist.
Right.
All right, up next, our dog, right? This is our guy?
The goat.
Yeah.
Brian Heady.
Brian Heady.
Heady.
Shout out.
I think it's Hetty.
Well,
Yeah, it looked,
when do we ever
it's
get
Ed
names
with
right?
a Y? We'll say Hetty.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't care.
I like Hetty better.
I like
So-
Heady, too.
Just a little background, because this gentleman is very interesting. If you don't know Brian Heady or Hetty, he's a very vocal person when it comes to government, and especially the local governments. At one point, he would go to city council meetings. This is probably in 2017, maybe 18. And, you could just see on the videos, the city council just hated every time they saw him. They would just not talk to him.
That's when you know he's good.
I was just gonna say when other government officials hate somebody, that's like I feel like that's a telltale.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
They're probably
Even if what he's saying is
For the
wrong,
right
like,
shit.
I don't agree with, just the fact that that happens, get my vote.
yeah.
But,
I'm good for a good troll. So
right. But
So you guys may not know that about me.
but back in that time frame, around 2018, something happened at a city council meeting, and he actually sued the city because of it.
Nice.
I
Saying,
remember that.
yeah, saying like they didn't give him enough time, and it was his right to talk, something like that.
It had something to do with like public, like the open public.
The speaking part
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting that happened, and then I believe a year later he got on the city council. So he has been on the city council before.
He played the long troll.
Yeah, he played. He was only on one term. During this current application to run for city council, he filed a financial hardship affidavit. Oh, jeez,
Affidavit.
affidavit. Thank you.
Got you, boy.
Which, if you don't know, which I honestly didn't even think about, when you sign up to run for city council, you have to pay the city like $150, $170 or something, like a filing fee. And I guess there's a way around that, which is a financial hardship paper you can fill out.
Yeah, just the fact that he signed that, I was looking at that. I'm like, I like
Yeah.
this guy. Just based on that, I'm like,
hilarious.
this guy is fucking awesome.
Yep.
So explain what it is. It's basically the hardship affidavit. It's basically saying like, I can't afford this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, from the paperwork, it doesn't show you have to show anything for it.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm not paying it. Like, I can't. So don't ask me why. I just can't.
Yeah, it's great. So that's also another great thing to see. So some things I found that he's posted on his Facebook for about a year or two ago.
Social media trolling. I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Gotta look it up, dude. See what people are doing. After several years of IRS and other government investigations into the former president's tax returns, no charges of tax fraud or underpayments have been filed. So please explain. If the IRS research has not resulted in the IRS seeking more tax, why is Congress still spending on our taxpayers' money in investigations? So he's referring to when
Daddy D.
yeah,
Well,
the daddy
Trump,
D,
yeah, the Daddy D.
Trump
Yeah.
when they were investigating him.
Father D.
So good point.
The Don.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that in a previous episode, one of the first couple episodes, about just like wasting taxpayer dollars on these investigations that lead nowhere.
Right.
Just for flexing. And then,
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
I
You wanna
just finally
introduce
had
the
a sip of
special
that.
guest?
That's nice.
yeah, do you want to shout out the bottle we switched halfway through?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, should we explain?
No, just shout out the bottle.
All right. Well, yeah, we have another bottle for this episode. Basil Hayden's Dark Rye. It's a really good high rye recipe that has always made Basil Hayden's so uncommon. This artful blend of rye whiskeys with just a touch of port unveils an entirely new taste discovery.
It's good.
Kentucky straight rye whiskey blended with Canadian rye whiskey and port. It's really good. It's 80 proof. It's nice and a little milder, but
you can.
man,
taste
that
the
is
port.
tasty. Yeah, you can. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a good mix-up.
It doesn't have that same kind of, we've been drinking a lot of, like, bourbons lately. And I guess this is, considered
Part
a bourbon,
bourbon,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so, but, yeah, I don't know, that high rye with the port, man, that's like,
Yeah, it's good.
it's almost like a dessert whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of has that very like sweet
Yeah,
finish.
That with a red velvet cake,
Yeah, baby.
Oh, yes.
Now back to Brian Heady.
The goat.
Another thing I found that he posted was candidates for public office at every level of government run campaigns promising to give the voters something. The simple reality is government can't give us anything without first taking from us the money to pay for their promises.
Oh,
There is no magical money tree at City Hall or in Washington, D.C., and the pure nonsense that the rich are going to be taxed to pay for everything is just that, pure nonsense. So I think we all can agree on that. That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
based.
solid. Yeah, very-
Based.
So
Yeah.
those are, again, it's unfortunately it's hard at a local level to find what these people have voted for when they've been on city council. Unless you want to go through hours of video or read.
I also love his like no bullshit answers.
Yeah, you can go through those. Those are
like
next.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they asked him, "What do you see as the most important issues facing Vero Beach over the next year?" And he just says, "Balancing the budget. Stop spending more than you have coming in."
Do you support a citywide mask mandate? No.
Like, perfect answer.
Yeah, no.
What is your preference for development on the Three Corners site? Developers' money, not tax dollars spent on development.
Boom. I like that.
boom!
Yeah.
Roasted.
Just straight and to the point.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So you can definitely see it based on his answers from the questions and based on the last guy's. He's not frilling up. He's not adding all that fluff.
Not being a shifty politician about
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
which is cool. Which is good to see.
Yeah,
Yes.
we like that.
Makes me stiff.
Makes me, it makes me realize why they hate him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And every time he runs for city council, he barely puts out signs. I think he's more of a meets people at places. I think kind of talks to people.
Right.
So he's definitely a more, I don't know what we call it,
Goat.
relative to everybody else, like an anarchist type in the mix.
Yeah, based on his answers.
Yeah, even just how he runs his political campaign.
Is this guy older?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably in his 60s, I would assume.
Yeah,
I bet you this guy fucks.
I feel like every time I've seen him, kind of a little homeless looking.
Well,
Little homey looking.
it's the beard, but when he shaves the beard, he looks like a doctor.
Oh, okay.
It's weird.
I'm gonna look him
Homeless
up.
doctor.
Hey,
Yeah, like
Jamie?
our homeless engineer.
Yeah. It happens.
Oh my! This is the guy.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nice.
My
Yeah, this guy
dog.
definitely fucks. Look at him, dude, with the glasses, bro.
Oh,
So-
man, I wish we could, pull this up. Oh, my.
Yeah, we need to
That's
get this
great.
guy on the. He needs to call in.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I think you would too.
Yeah, I
hope
think so too. He seems like a pretty. I mean,
Chill guy.
yeah, just based off his answers, I think he, probably holds a lot of the same values we do. So
No, I would definitely like to talk to him,
yeah, ask him if he fucks.
especially since he's been on the council before.
But yo, how much do you fuck, bro? You married? You getting puss?
He'll just say a lot.
Yeah, he's like, I fuck all of it.
One word answers.
He's like, I fuck all of it. Men, women, they, them.
He's like Creed from The Office.
Yeah. What does he say? He's like,
At one point.
yeah. You never know if you're slipping to a man or not.
Yeah, that's great, dude. But so Brian Hetty seems like a pretty decent politician if there ever was one. So
Yeah.
I want to move on to the next guy here, Ray Neville. So Ray
This
Neville,
guy.
he is a Vero Beach, I believe native. Like he's been here for a long time. I think
I know a couple Nevilles. I wonder if there's any relation.
I think I'm talking about the right guy. But if so, he's been here for a long time, and I think his actual. The
Oh,
house-
he's got COVID.
He used to, yeah.
Oh, June 30th.
But Ray Neville, his house he grew up in is the Tides. He grew up in that house.
Oh, the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
cool. Interesting.
I guess he's special, and every time he goes, when his wife was alive for their anniversary, they'd set it up like it was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, super good information for everybody to know.
Yeah, there's things I found that are in my head now forever. So he's retired Air Force. He's actually he's one of the standing city council members, so he's trying to run for as an incumbent. He may drop out. That's kind of still up in the air.
Hopefully he does.
Let's see. For income, the things that were listed, he's got a couple of pensions, obviously from being in the military. A couple other things he has there as well. He's got some interesting things he wants to do.
Nick
with,
doesn't sound impressed at all.
yeah.
No, well, I just came up on, I guess back in June, the end of June, this TC Palm article, and he seems very for masks. We're
Yeah.
walking backwards, Neville said. We should all be wearing masks in public.
Oh, Lord.
I'm about to get there, but yeah. So,
Oh, sorry.
no, you're
Sorry.
good. Yeah, so he's
Just
got
expressing my disdain.
opinions or viewpoints I would not personally agree with. So let's see here. Just for in general in the town, if you don't know, there's a group of people who wants to narrow 60 going east and west through the downtown.
That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that for? Like, what?
They think it's dangerous.
Yeah, so
It's
they
gonna
don't
be
like
even
this.
more dangerous.
They like the idea of like lowering the speed limit, and I guess that's also has to do with like lowering the amount of.
So
traffic,
my
right?
question is, okay, you narrow it down to what is it? 3 lanes going through there, or maybe
Yeah,
it's 3 lanes, right?
until like the
And
end.
like a turn lane here and
Yeah,
there.
I have no idea. I just
So
look at
so
three
what do
lanes.
you do? What do they want to cut it down to? 2? What are you gonna like? What like?
It's just gonna
You have
create
2
traffic.
extra lanes. What are you gonna do with that?
They
It's
want
not
to make
you-
it like bigger, so it's like more inviting for downtown, which doesn't make sense.
They
but-
want what they want to do is they want to pull up the pavement. They want to do cobblestone, and they want everybody to ride on horseback.
Oh, horse-drawn
Speaking
carriages.
about going backwards,
Return to Monkey.
Yeah, so he's, I would not agree with that for multiple reasons. He wants stricter tree laws, which is what I wrote, but
What does that even?
that
mean?
just means
requirements for how many trees you need on your property.
Oh,
Correct.
get fucked, bro.
what can and can't be cut down.
Wow.
If you're building at the X amount of
He's not scoring
green
any
space.
points on this side.
Yeah.
Table.
I love this one quote. Sorry to cut
No,
you
go
off,
ahead.
but he says, so in reference to just like, like how he feels about different improvements, including the 3 corners and all that stuff. He says we should make decisions based on the value of services to residents and their needs. Sounds like the free market to take care of that.
Yeah, right.
Not necessarily.
See, where I'm in favor of increasing the speed limit through downtown. I don't think we have enough deaths there.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you could probably debate that point.
I give me
the-
one counter argument against it.
I don't
Change
have
the
one.
crosswalks, make them cross runs.
Yeah, in my 27 years of living in Vero or in this area, I don't ever remember ever even seeing an accident there.
Yeah.
So, I think that's an untapped market we need to...
Which is, I mean, there's a ton of bars there. So
right,
which is,
get some good, some drunk people that maybe we don't really,
Yeah.
need in society. Crossing the street.
Get an
Make
alley
some-
taco.
Yeah, raise it to like, I don't know, something reasonable, like 75 miles an hour.
woo, get out to 95 real quick.
Yeah.
The Autobahn, and then you hit the freaking railroad tracks.
Yeah, you just launch your car through that entire kingdom.
But the bounce
I'm all
off,
for it.
No, to bounce off what Chris said about his quote on the 3 corners in general for Vero, something I found. But he was during one of the meetings he talked about the 3 corners, and he threw out the idea of spending taxpayer money,
Surprise.
making the 3 corners there a little more prettier, a little more up to date. So when people buy it, it's worth more or whatever it was, or more
They're
appealing.
just going to tear all that shit down and
What I
do
think-
what they're going to do. Right?
So wait. So they want to use our money to make it prettier, so when they sell it, they can make more money.
correct.
That
Well, it's
goes
more-
back to what
Heating?
our boy was saying. Yeah,
if I remember
how
correctly,
the government doesn't create anything without
Yeah.
first taking.
if I remember correctly, the context of it was because of the state it's in now, and you guys probably know better than me, but it's probably not in the best shape if for general building purposes. I don't know if it is or not, but like
You mean like engineering wise, like
yeah,
soil, and
flattening
structural?
things, making sure it's there, and so it's more appealing for people to buy it. That's what I believe. That's what his context.
Yeah,
was
but
for.
see, the counter argument against that is American Icon, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
That I mean, it was basically unbuildable. The guy had to pull like, I think he spent like $700,000 alone in soil removal because it was all contaminated.
Jeez.
And say what you want about the place, it's always busy. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I personally don't really care for it, but
Yeah.
I obviously.
Yeah.
The place is busy.
Right,
There's no
right.
doubt
The
about it, yeah.
the free market decided that's what we needed, and
Yeah.
clearly,
Good for him.
yeah. That's what I mean. The guy's a dickhead, but whatever.
Yeah, but he gets what he wants, that guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a big time. He's got shit all over. Apparently, he's building another American Icon.
I don't doubt it.
Good for him.
Hopefully it's better. But
Yeah,
hopefully they.
Hopefully the
don't-
beer tastes good and the food is
Yeah, hopefully they don't do that birthday sprinkle beer again. That almost made me
that
lose
sounds
my
terrible.
lunch.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it was on sale. I decided to try it for some reason.
But
because it was on sale.
I feel you.
Oh shit.
But and then he was like we mentioned, he was for mass mandates for people who serve the public, and then eventually at one point when COVID probably got a little spike, he was for mass mandates in public eventually as well, public spaces.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
Mm.
I mean it's just one of those things where I personally don't agree with a lot of what he's putting down.
Yeah, he can drop out.
Yeah, I wouldn't care to see him dropped out.
I would agree with that. So, go on to the next guy who knows if we like or not. Help me out with this last name. Ken Dodge.
I would say Daig.
I think it's Doge.
Doge.
Yeah.
So Ken
He's
Dogecoin-
actually the creator of Dogecoin.
So, yeah.
And his running platform is every household has to have a Bitcoin mining rig set up. And he's going to provide free electricity for all the Bitcoin miners. And he's going to work to get Indian River County completely off of fiat currency and onto cryptocurrency.
But
These are not too
strictly
bad.
Doge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
strictly Doge, yeah. The unspendable
That
coin.
would be amazing.
Yeah.
But he's a former city council member. He has his own local company. Looking through a lot of what he was putting down, he's opposed to selling off any type of city assets. So think about like public pools we have, the big pile of grass that's called Dodgertown Golf Course that's currently still there.
Word.
The not public, but the public or like government funded gym, Leisure Square.
The what?
Leisure Square?
That's a gym?
There's a gym in there.
It's something. It's full
Wait,
of...
Leisure Square, where is that?
It's off
right over here.
12th or 16th?
Yeah. It's off of 16th. Right across from there's a church and then the Rosewood School.
It looks like the 80s went over there and just shit, and that's what's left.
Yeah. You walk in, there's like a person in, they're like, hey! And then you just walk by them. You don't give them any money, you don't even acknowledge them.
Oh, right.
And then you just go into the gym and work
Yeah.
out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's
And then
pretty
it's
Is it a
just
good
all
gym?
homeless people in there.
good. And the gym is like, it's...
I'm sure you get staff there. It's just by smelling. It's like just-
Rusted bars and shit.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's...
Nice.
It's like a step up from like a prison.
Oh.
I'm sure. Who knows? I can only imagine, though.
you walk in, people are just doing pull-ups off of like towels
Yeah.
that are wrapped around like the door frame.
Everybody's like, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Nice.
I played racquetball there.
The
and
punching bag is actually just some guy who hung himself 10 years ago.
Exactly,
We're just
just left
punching
him in
his
there.
dead body.
The racquetball, it's pretty rough in there. It's
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a racquetball guy.
yeah, it's rough in there.
Yeah.
It's it needs to be updated, but not at the expense of my tax money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's, all for keeping that within the city, keeping that land, which he also wants to keep. So any public land that's, maybe not useful or people are like, hey, maybe we should sell
Or
this.
it's like falling apart.
Yeah, he's like, no, we got to hold on to it. This makes our city great again. But he's seen as a local civic activist, whatever that means.
yeah, I was just getting
Yeah.
to whatever that
That
means.
was written by him by some publication. He was beat by actually the GOAT Heedy
Nice.
in a re-election he had. So back in
Get fucked,
2018,
Dage,
yeah,
Ken.
was
Oh, he was against the brewery by the dog park?
yes, he was one of the voters.
Oh,
Not
what
a
a
fan of
fuck.
that
Yeah,
guy.
get the fuck. Drop out.
So for some backstory or
Oh, look at him.
content,
Yeah.
yeah,
you need to drop out, dude. You look like you eat people.
a little backstory for
Yo, wait, doesn't he look like the Papa John's guy a little bit?
he does.
Yeah, he does.
He
Looks like Papa John.
I don't know how I'm going to show you this without.
never mind. You're gonna
Yeah,
spill
you're good.
whiskey on the board again.
But so when we're talking about the dog park, the brewery, there's that government building that can be rented out that is probably used now for meth and cocaine sales.
Mostly,
But a gentleman who owns Orchid Island, I believe,
yeah.
at the
OIB, yeah.
OIB wanted to buy that and make another brewery over there.
Which is such a great idea.
It's a nice plot of land. It's right near the river.
That's not used for anything
It's-
currently.
yeah, again, meth and coke sales will probably go on
Yeah.
there.
Let me just lay out a scenario for you, right? You're a long day out on the boat. You pull the boat up out of the boat ramp. You go get a beer. It's
Maybe-
like,
Life's good.
Maybe some
Yeah, or
maybe
you
some
maybe-
truffle fries.
You maybe have your dog on the boat with you. Grab a
Exactly.
beer. Go
Yeah.
to the dog
Maybe-
park.
So,
Oh.
a little nicer than Riverside. You won't get like AIDS or anything.
yeah. Or you won't have like a couple swingers trying to get you to come over and
Yeah.
take a swim in the pool.
It's a little weird there.
But
Yeah.
no, I mean when they proposed that idea, I'm like, that seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
And mostly too, like I don't know, like breweries are mostly family friendly type places. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
Like, it's not like a bar setting,
right.
You know, where,
You don't get loud and crazy in there
yeah,
unless
yeah,
you're me.
exactly, and they're normally closed at a decent time and so forth. You know, so I thought the idea was great, but you know,
Yeah, and there was a lot of outcry when that happened.
a lot.
I mean, the owner of OIB was, like, backed out before anything happened. He's like, I'm done. Like, he's getting a lot of hate on Facebook and
Wow.
God forbid they do anything cool over beachside.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
they're,
That doesn't cater to that swinger crowd.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And OIB's they're not out of business. They're still brewing beer, but they don't have a location anymore now. So
Yeah, right.
that would have been nice for them,
Yeah.
local companies.
It would have been a great move, but
Yeah.
One last little bit of information about Ken Dage. He was against the sale of the city electric, and he's against selling city water and sewer. So again, that just kind of wraps right back to a pose of selling off anything the city owns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually. Let me see if I can find this again.
Yeah, you can actually find a decent amount about him online. He's very outspoken. Again,
he's not. He's not.
Yeah,
an
he
incumbent.
said he's been actively working to get rid of the N-word in his vocabulary too. So
that's a very
apparently he has an issue with that.
So he is the Papa John's guy.
Literally is the Papa John's guy.
No, that's a joke, everybody.
Oh,
I mean, it's probably true, but that was also
Just
was a
looking
joke,
at him,
yeah.
you're like, yeah,
I
probably.
feel
yeah.
stupid. I totally believe that.
I believe it too.
me too.
I'm a very believable guy. I don't.
I don't know why
everything I
believe
say
anything
is
this guy says.
normally factually,
Correct.
perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
impenetrable to criticism.
But that's Ken Dage. So again, me personally, not a huge fan of him. I mean, a quick little backstory. So when that happened with
Did he touch you?
no,
Oh, I thought that's where this was going. I needed to prepare myself.
when that brewery thing happened, I believe that was during the same time that Zudan's what's her face's husband was actual mayor at the time,
Val.
and he was pretty interesting in the sense that he wanted to sell off all the public assets.
Yeah, he's the opposite approach.
He wanted to sell Leisure Square. He wanted, I believe he was in favor of getting the brewery. I may be wrong in that one, but he definitely wanted to get rid of Leisure Square and Dodgertown Golf Course.
See, I just don't see how that's a bad thing for the city. It's less money in upkeep, less tax dollars.
But you don't understand that it changes what Vero is in its insides.
Changes the inside.
Yeah, we want to
I've
keep Vero
changed
the
a
way
lot
it
of
is,
insides of Vero.
Yeah, keep the spirit.
but at the same time change the things we want to change.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Damn you.
Yeah. What?
I said, damn you.
Oh, I thought okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't,
Yeah.
They've been
It's-
doing a lot of updates at Dodgertown, I guess. They have like they're building an indoor baseball diamond.
Now that's
I feel like they're
Yeah, we
trying
gotta
to.
see what the status of that is, because is it partially private now?
This
So,
is the
I think-
absolute first I'm hearing of
I
this.
think you're
so-
talking about but I think they still call that Dodgertown, but
Yeah.
it's the what's his
for the
face's
baseball,
training camp.
Oh yeah, the Jackie Robinson.
So I don't know how
center.
what the split is, if that's all private or private and like city funded.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm talking about is like right next to it, it's that big piece of land that nothing sits
Oh,
on
right,
except like a
right.
storage
Oh, what,
place.
that's on 40 or
Yeah, it's right in the
yeah.
corner of 43rd and
Yeah.
Aviation.
And actually, that piece, catty corner to it, is also part of Dodgertown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that and across the street, right, where you normally park when they have like the
yeah,
fall
exactly,
festival and
exactly.
shit.
So I think all that might be
Yeah.
Dodgertown.
But yeah, the training
All unused
complex, we should look into it actually. I'm not sure if that's how much of that's private and government owned.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a good mix.
Yeah.
Charles Wilson.
Yeah. This guy, woo, he is, if there's anything as a local political celebrity, this is the guy. He's, a little up there. He's 70 years old, but for most of his adult life, he's been a part of politics. He's either been a part of committees, he's either helped people run for offices.
Oh, he's got that big ass whiskey nose that all of us are going to have in 30 years.
He's
Big red whiskey.
Big
nose.
red and bumpy, and
I guess, is he the kind of guy that wears like a lot of like gold rings?
he's the kind of guy.
No, but yeah, Charles Wilson was, or he's still alive, so still is. He's an interesting guy. So, again, for most of his adult life, he's either been helping people get into political office, on the county level, within Indian River County, I think even within St. Lucie County.
Mhm.
So he's been a part of that. He's run for multiple things. He hasn't won a lot, but he's helped a lot of people get into power. He's been a part of their teams once they've gotten into power.
So he's a schmuck.
Yeah, I mean, for a local town, he's your political celebrity where you could see this guy, if he was better, doing it at a state level, right? Or even DC level. It's kind of that same aspect of he's in everything, right? He's got his hands with people.
Yeah, he knows people.
He knows people. He knows people.
So you're saying he's basically the local mafia.
Yeah, for sure. And some aspects for sure. He ran for city council in 2009, but he was kicked off once he won because the resident law for running for city council, you have to be you live in the city limits for a year, and at that time he didn't, so they kicked him out of the city council. And that's when what's his face, Ken Dage. That's how Ken Dage got in the city council.
Oh, he was like a shoo-in?
Well, they had a special vote thing, and that's when Ken Dage actually got in, was because of the special election. And then when Ken Dage re-ran, that's when Heedy got in. So it's kind of interesting. All this stuff kind of runs together. Now they're all running against each other again. But yeah, I mean, there's was it IndianRiverGuardian.com?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
8 years ago, posted a 3-part series on this guy and all his political background. 8 years ago.
Yeah.
3 articles.
Yeah, and I read the first one, and it was like long as hell. And
I'm scrolling through it now.
Frankly, I didn't understand half of the shit that was in there. I didn't know what I was reading.
It's like inside baseball politics. It's like local. He ran for this committee, and then he was on this guy's campaign run.
Yeah, he's just whoring around.
And then
Charlie Wilson, an enigma or an open book?
Yeah.
Like so fucking
and
ominous.
I think the most recent thing he did was for Indian River County. I want to say tax appraiser, but I could get that wrong. I think the last name of the guy was Wesley Davis, maybe.
Yeah, he's still the appraiser.
Yeah, so he's
been the appraiser
property
for
appraiser.
a long time.
Yeah, so he was on his campaign, and eventually he was part of his team once he was in office. And just recently, maybe a year or two ago, he got kicked off for it was harassment, I believe, was what they people started complaining that he was
Hopefully sexual harassment.
I don't think it was.
He was just being an asshole.
Yeah, he was like rough to work with. The people who were actually that was their job besides.
He looks like a guy that would not be easy to work
Yeah.
with. Like he just has that look.
And then once all the harassment started coming off, he quit, stepped down.
Okay.
Now he's running for city council.
Nice.
And weirdly enough, since it's been a while since he's ran for office, for city council at least, there wasn't a lot on like what his stances are that I could find. Because again, most of the stuff he does is behind the curtains.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
do we know what the FMPA is?
No.
All right, well, I'm gonna look it up.
Fuck my pussy association.
That
Florida
might be it.
Municipal Power Agency. Oh, is he against the whole selling the power to whatever?
I feel like he wouldn't be, but who knows?
Wilson regularly appears before the Vero Beach City Council, urging the city to wage a legal war with the FMPA, whether simply to attract votes or because he actually believes so. Wilson continues to insist the sale is possible if only the city will fight the FMPA in court.
Yeah, so he won against the association that was stopping the sale, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Definitely worth reading up on him, I guess, because since he has such a long history in the area, it should tell you a lot about him.
Yeah,
I feel like we should know more about this guy.
It was hard to find though. Like again, the biggest thing I could find was that 3-page article that was 8 years ago.
The enigma.
Yeah, but so those are all the Vero Beach peeps that are running. So again, just to reiterate, Vero Beach City Council has 2 seats open. One of them is an incumbent seat, which is Ray Neville. He may or may not continue to run, but currently he is running for it. He's on the ballot. Yeah, so those are our people for 2 seats. I think we talked at the beginning of this, the 3 corners and kind of our viewpoints on it.
This is funny. Here's a cartoon of him. He's wearing a shirt that says Vero Beach Truth Squad, and he's got like a Pinocchio nose.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
That's pretty funny.
But maybe on a later episode we can kind of go through, because it seems the 3 corners right now in Vero Beach is
the top
thing to talk about. What was the other?
Is it me, or do you guys feel like you can hear the traffic a lot better today?
Through our headphones, or?
Yeah. No, just me?
I think it might be you.
All right, anyway, let's continue.
But what's another big issue that's going on in Vero? I feel like I'm blanking
Well,
out right now.
you have the lagoon. That's the big issue.
Yeah, that's always going to be right now,
the
currently.
3 corners.
Every single politician has just the talking point, keeping our lagoon waters clean. That's top priority. But none of them that I've seen have any specific plans other than the stormwater tax.
Yeah, that seems to be the big thing. It's everyone's just we need to do something, but nobody has something outlined.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if
kill
that
the manatees off.
if that changes as
episode 5.
as it gets more in depth, if this isn't just a product of them just throwing their hat in the ring or whatever. But yeah, I mean, that was my point. I'm like, no one's making like straight points.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're just saying all the things that people want to hear. I don't really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heedy was the only one that was kind of like like we said, he didn't really like
Sugarcoat.
Yeah, he just went straight to the point, like. So I don't
Even
know. I
though
don't
he
know
had
if
the
that
shortest-
necessarily means anything. This early in the game, like we've already mentioned, we don't really expect anybody to be super in depth, but everyone's just bullshitting. Where he's just kind of like, no, I'm not for masks.
So yeah, I feel like Heedy, even though he had the shortest answers, he had the most like concise answers that tell you exactly where he stands compared to the other candidates.
Yeah,
Well, like the most revealing stuff. That's exactly right.
you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
So let's move on
If
to
you didn't know, now you know.
the Sebastian City Council.
Yeah. Oh, before we start that, did you see a lot of people over the weekend posting about, I don't know, some plot of land that the state is getting ready to sell? And apparently, like, everyone's up in arms about it because a lot of the canals and shit flow out to the lagoon.
I don't know. What
I
that
don't know,
is.
but we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay.
I was hoping you would know so we can talk about it because obviously it's
so
relevant.
next to the Three Corners is a trailer park.
No, this was,
That's
I
another
want to
one?
say up more near, it's like more in like the middle part of the state, like up in the Melbourne area, like West Melbourne area
I
or
don't
West
know.
Bombay.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. A lot of people I know were posting about it.
Yeah,
And I meant to read it, but like when I opened it, the post was long and I was like, I can't really read, so.
Another time.
All right, so Sebastian, we can jump in Sebastian.
So Sebastian City Council, there are 6 people running. There's 3 spots open. I believe everybody whose seat's open, so who's an incumbent, is running again. And the 3 people who are incumbents because they were elected in during the special election when the 3 people last year, I'm blanking again. When the 3 people last year tried to overthrow the government, Sebastian, and they got kicked out.
The special council meeting when they locked the doors.
Yeah, which you can look at. I think it was one of our earlier episodes, maybe episode 4 or
Yeah.
Gilliam's.
Might have been one.
yeah. Which I think
They
that
have been, actually.
yeah, we were pretty for that for the most part. Like it was pretty boss. I believe they were trying to go against what the city council was trying to do, which is implement mandates, if I remember correctly. And
I don't.
who
remember
knows?
wrong. I don't
But
fucking remember.
it was interesting at the most. But they got kicked out, and these 3 people who are running now, or running because they're incumbents, were elected in for it. So 6 people trying to run for this election, and there's 3 new people running against them, and we can kind of go into those people.
Yeah.
So the first one is Damian Gilliams. What?
Our boy.
But it's his son. So it's Damian Gilliams Jr. It's very interesting. Again, if we thought Vero Beach had very little information on the people running, Sebastian had even less, which makes sense based on the cities, but still, it's kind of weird. So Damian Gilliams Jr. is a software engineer. He owns Damos Designs, however you want to say that. In a news article, he doesn't think the recall of his father will affect the election for him, which is very interesting to say.
Yeah.
The reason why he wants to run is protecting the environment. It's his number one reason to pick up the mantle where his father left off. He said seeing the manatees dying this year pushed him to get into office.
Soft.
Yeah.
He would not be a fan of ours.
Yeah, and that's all I got on Damian Gilliams Jr. So
I mean, how deluded though to think that like the fact that his father tried to overthrow the Sebastian town government is not going to affect anything at all for him.
The fact that we have the same name doesn't mean.
Same
Yeah.
exact
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah,
oh
it's-
my god.
What if he should have just come out and be like, I'm trying to pick up the mantle where my father left off and overthrow the government yet again. So,
But-
if you
all-
guys are into that kind of thing, I'm your fucking guy.
All while doing that, I want to save the manatees.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like
trying to keep fucking
like Chris said, soft.
those politics on the rock guys with their flashbangs and tomahawks.
So
Keep them away from the manatees.
We out here.
good to say that unless this guy gets the following that his father had is probably just dead in the water. Like I don't know where he can go.
I gotta look up this guy, Damian Gilliams Jr.
Yeah, look him up while we go on the next
The
guy.
only thing that might save him is the fact that he can say he's a software engineer, so people might like think he's smart or
yeah.
something.
Like that means anything when it comes to public service. But next guy is Fred Jones. So he is an incumbent. He was a Marine and a state trooper. Was part of the Substance Awareness Center of Indian River County. Chair of the Charter Review for City of Sebastian, and the priorities that he's got posted that he's for, or the priorities he has. Work with, not against council members. Drainage, canals, seawalls. So again, the lagoon. And then he goes on to say, protect the lagoon. He's, priorities are infrastructure, septic to septic to sewer conversion. He will not defund the police, and he will defend property rights. So,
I like that last part.
yeah, what that means to him. But he's one of those people that has got a background of being on committees and chairs and part of groups and within this, within the county, within the city itself.
That's not Junior. That is Damian Gilliams.
Oh, is
but
that-
apparently his son also had an arrest warrant out for him for filing a false police report about Sebastian Vice Mayor Jim Hill. So an arrest warrant was issued for Damian Gilliams and his son. So that shouldn't come up in the election
Hey, dude.
at all.
Man, Sebastian.
Man,
city politics is cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure I know this guy's son.
Hey, he's probably not that old.
If that's his son, I know him. Is that? Oh my god, I know him. I
Yeah.
know this kid. I didn't know he was a software engineer though. Man, that's wild, bro. I need to get the fuck out of this town.
I don't know. So what do you guys think of Fred Jones based on the little information we have of him?
Seems better than pretty much all the other options to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course, we haven't gotten to all the other options yet, but the other ones are just incredibly boring.
Yeah, I would agree, and it's still at that point. It's like I don't know if I would vote for him.
Yeah. It's like I'd just rather not vote.
Yeah, based on these people running, this is why people don't vote.
Yeah, it's just the most like ridiculous group of just like useless people.
Well, I mean, the fact that you would run and your, I don't know, opening remarks or whatever you say about yourself is, I don't think my dad's name and what he did is going to affect me, and I want to save manatees, and that's all you say. like,
Also, hashtag protect the environment.
yeah, like,
Oh my god!
like
that's
what are
so
you,
funny, dude.
what are you doing? Like, why even run at all?
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. That's a pretty solid.
Solid
Yeah.
basis to run on.
Yeah. Here's his LinkedIn. Let's see what he does here.
He's wearing the dumbest hat in his LinkedIn. I just want to punch him.
Yeah, I don't think I know this kid.
You guys talking about Damon Gilliams right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's his. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, we'll just
Yeah, that is not like impressive at all.
I could have done that on Microsoft.
But so yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah,
Fred
we're really
Jones.
stuck on him. All right, let's move on.
Let's go to Sherry Matthews.
Say Matthews.
yes.
So she's within the same running theme of somebody that's been part of government for most of her adult life. And unlike, was it Chris Wilson
I don't know if I could do this whiskey anymore.
from Vero Beach? She was more on the employee side. So she wasn't running for office or helping people get ran for office. She was more of working for the feds. Let's see. She has ran before for city council and she lost. 35 years in the Indian River County School District and Sheriff's Department. Jeez. Little blurb she has are residents can expect to have their voices heard and family and businesses come first. Whatever that means.
Like,
It's just
Like,
such,
come
again,
first?
such a milquetoast fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't think Sebastian is progressing and believes she can help it progress the way the people want. She wants to improve the city's ADA requirements, so disabled requirements for buildings and spaces.
more ramps.
Yeah, like I've never like
She just
I've
puts
never,
rants everywhere.
I've never been to an establishment that you like. I don't know. That's such a
Don't
retarded.
Don't talk about this with your walking privilege.
This is what. Anytime they talk about, like, these are the lines: common sense practices, or
That gets thrown around so much.
progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
you're
almost
not
rather
saying
you say
anything.
nothing at all. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're just fucking like repeating shit that you think people want to hear.
We need to
It's
be
so
more
annoying.
proactive with,
Yeah.
like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, say something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like something. Just say something
Yeah.
other than that word, which means nothing.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain words that I hear that I just want to like throw myself off a bridge when I hear.
It's like
politicians say it.
it's like a language, you know, that like gets you nowhere.
Mm.
It's just a language that like.
Well,
is, like,
the problem
pleasing.
is it works for stupid people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, progressive. That's the word that I associate with, so that's probably something I'm
Yeah.
for.
Progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Common sense. I have common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple longer quotes she has. One of her, I guess, tenets: fiscal responsibility. As your next city council member, it would be my responsibility to make informed decisions regarding spending and the most effective use of our tax dollars. Budgets can
here's
only
this shit
expand and invest at a rate that is sustainable within the community. Higher taxes can become a disadvantage to existing and prospective new businesses. Residents expect tax rates to be justified, fair, and reasonable.
So 0.
Yeah.
I was about to say. I'm waiting for one to say common sense practices.
Yeah.
We're gonna get rid of taxes.
She pretty much said that.
It's the only common sense practice for taxes, in my opinion.
Yeah. Again, that kind of just shows you guys' points. I mean, that was a good paragraph of words, and again, meant nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Another quote she has, or a tenet that she put out: growth is inevitable. Growth decisions affect many things that touch people's lives daily: their homes, health, schools their children attend, taxes they pay, daily commute, environment around them, economic growth, and opportunities to achieve their dreams and goals. My common sense approach to growth would allow residents to be involved in developmental decisions, building a strong sense of place. This high quality of life would make Sebastian someone help me with that? I don't know why.
Economically competitive.
Thank you. Create business opportunities and strengthen the local tax base.
Anytime I hear that last part,
Yeah.
I raise my eyebrows and
Yeah,
immediately go soft. I don't like when anybody says anything about
it's growing tax base.
strengthening tax. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm good on
So
that. You can keep that.
So
shit.
again, that's a good chunk of words there. Where this actually means a little bit more than her previous ones, because she's for growth if it benefits the tax base. Is what I got from it.
Yeah.
It's like if it makes sense and if it helps our taxes.
Yeah, I think she probably is a proponent of the idea that, too high taxes are detrimental because it drives businesses out, which I guess is good. You know, she's a little bit smarter than some of these other idiots. But yeah, I mean, it's all with an eye towards collecting the most taxes possible. But
Yeah.
that is true that, if there's a point of diminishing returns with taxes where you start to lose businesses. So yeah, you want to be competitive in that way where you can attract businesses in, because of the low tax rates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely. It's just one of those things where understanding that isn't like I don't know. It's not like what am I trying to say? It's not something I would be like, oh, great, 2 + 2 = 4. You know that,
Right.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
nothing outstanding there, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad you understand that if you tax people too much,
Yeah.
they get pissed.
Like very basic economics. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Basic economics is something that is not common sense, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's not. Like, many people don't. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. Sherry Matthews, who knows? Maybe more information comes out. She might be interesting. But
Yeah, so the next candidate is Bob McPartlin, and he's running for re-election because he was one of the 3 people that got elected in after the coup, the Sebastian City coup. And
I still love that story. It's my favorite.
And Bob was he was born in Brooklyn. He's an Army vet. He works on a lot of government stuff. He He's heavily involved, kind of like who was that Vero Beach guy?
Wilson.
Charlie
Yeah.
Wilson.
and apparently he was also born in Whoville.
Yeah, by the looks of it.
Nick's
We
like,
need to get that TV set up so I could just throw shit up on the TV for you guys to see. This guy. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So he worked at a child advocacy center of Brevard. I don't know why I said for the bereaved last time.
that's what it said.
Bereaved.
I just changed it.
That's funny. So he's part of a lot of government stuff. He was elected in 2011 to Sebastian City Council. He's reelected in 13, 15, and 17. He served as mayor from 2012 to 14 and 15 to 17. Serves on a lot of boards in the Treasure Coast and Okeechobee.
He also did a lot of work with the Grinch to ruin Christmas over the years.
Yes.
And Cindy Lou Who. He really hates that bitch.
He let's see what else we got here. He served on the Indian River City Executive Roundtable. Which
So
sounds,
he's a knight.
yeah, it sounds pretty badass. So, I have no idea what any of these committees do.
Yeah, he's a part of a ton of committees throughout the area.
This committee, that committee, like at least 3 roundtables. So this
Yeah.
guy's just like riding horses.
He
and
knows Merlin
cutting
pretty
people
well.
down.
Yeah, dude, this guy fucks. Probably
Anyways,
doesn't.
he's advocated for domestic violence awareness, as well as foster care, adoption, and guardian ad litem program. What is that?
Who knows?
I don't know. Well, look it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's running for office for pretty much all the same reasons everyone else is. Nick's stalking his wife's Facebook right now.
Yeah, he's got like she's got like random dudes like, "Are you gonna call me?"
What the hell?
Yeah, you see that? Like, "Are you gonna call me?"
Oh,
Anyway,
very weird.
hey Tiffany, hit me up. I'm just kidding. But seriously, hit me up.
What else? Oh, here's a quote from him. If you go to a place that requires a mask, then wear it. Common courtesy.
Pussy.
Common courtesy. So yeah. And he also says you can't legislate good behavior. So, you know,
So he just contradicted himself.
kind of.
Do we know if he's like for mask mandates or anything like that? Probably
That
not,
was
right?
his mask mandate quote. So
Yeah.
So probably
it's
for
like a
them.
soft, yeah. That's what I would take it as.
But
Right.
you can't legislate good behavior. So, that's a interesting take.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Common courtesy, Nick.
yeah. It's just it's to show that you care.
Don't kill the grandmas, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bob, he seems like, again, like you stated, Chris, pretty typical.
Career politician type.
Yeah, I mean, again, everything he's stated, it seems like he's running for the typical reasons. You know, budget, lagoon, fucking who knows what else happens, Sebastian.
Nothing.
Change the speed limit in one area from 35 to 30.
Hey, keep Earl's open till 4 a.m. That's you run on that platform, you'll win instantly.
Yeah.
I feel like half the like 75% of the
Town will
fucking
come out.
town goes to Earl's on Sunday.
Just keep Earls open till 4 a.m. and legalize cocaine. Like those two things.
God, dude, you wouldn't even have to. You would never have to debate anybody. You'd never have to show your face.
Yeah.
Like, wait, this guy wants to do what?
Got my vote.
Be like, yeah, where do I sign for this motherfucker? Because he needs to be in there.
Oh, man. So, I think the last guy now we can go into is, right? Last guy? No, we got 2 more. Sorry.
Dosma.
Tosmas is Christopher Robert Nunn. He's running for re-election, so he's currently on the city council. He's 49, electric engineer. He's
Fellow
worked
engineer.
in local government for 12 years. So this is kind of interesting. I was trying to look into, when I was looking into what he did, during that time of working for local government, after he got out, he opened up a company, and it looked like what he did was process governmental contracts. It was kind of hard to find out what it did, but based on the wording and the name of it, which for whatever reason I didn't write down, that's what it seemed like it did. So he would be like a middleman for governmental contracts.
Dang, he raised 7 kids. Woo!
Lots of government contracts.
Shit. Navy veteran.
Honestly, looking at his photo, seems like a cool dude.
Working with local Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Never know about that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I feel like I've met this guy before somewhere.
Okay, you met everybody on here. And you haven't. But one of his priorities is the lagoon. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
A focus he was going on was spraying the chem kills on the weeds going into the lagoon.
Yeah, that's a big topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they actually
killing like the foreign like grass and weeds and stuff.
Yeah. I think I actually just passed something just the other day in Sebastian actually about that.
Yeah.
But that's something he's running on. He brought up the annexation via the Graves brothers. It was I believe it was 1,000 acres in Sebastian was for development for housing in South Sebastian, I believe.
Yeah,
that's all the
like
stuff
on the river down there.
Yeah, it was.
On that road behind the fruit stand or whatever.
It was that area.
There's also an annex on the north and south side of 510 going out towards like the high school.
Yeah.
All the grove, they used to be groves years ago. Yeah, they like cleared them. I mean, they've been, they haven't done anything, but they cleared them like years ago because that was like, I don't know, part of the 20-year plan or whatever for Sebastian.
So at least the annexation he was talking about, was going to bring in around 3,500 extra homes to the area, which is a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
I believe so. Looking into that, I found the Spirit of Sebastian was a new home development going in. I couldn't figure out if that was the annexed land or not. So, but it was a new home development going in, new land.
Sounds like they're talking about the land that Nick mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know where else you would fit 3,500 homes.
Yeah, out west
On Barber Street.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
I will. Here's a quote: "I will always back our police department and never defund them."
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But so he was for the new homes, which I think is pretty cool. Doesn't mean I like the guy or anything, but
yeah.
I don't know. As I talked about earlier, when it came to the Three Corners, when it comes to especially our area, which is Indian River County, which is expanding and more people are trying to move here, you create a low amount of homes, which drives up the prices, and a lot of people don't want new homes being built or new condos, but at the same time, all it does is stop people who live here from actually continuing to live here.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless you get home, then you're trying to buy into a market that's, $400,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which
Ridiculous.
changes Vero by not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the goals with some of these local government people is to keep things as possible.
Oh, yeah,
like
for sure.
not make any progress, like kind of just keep everything the same, which I mean I like the small town feel in Sebastian. It's kind of like it feels like the last town that feels like that, like on the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can go to Bartow County in the middle of the state and find that, but
right. Yeah,
Bartow.
you go up further north, like there's like trailer parks right on the river and stuff. And like, yeah, up here it's like, down here it's like pretty freaking expensive on the river compared to, up in those areas. So, yeah, I don't remember what the hell we were talking about. So.
No, but just to make the point that your book and you guys just made was, when I first got married 70 years ago or so, I rented a house in the Highlands for like $750. We didn't make much money, and we were newly married, out of high school. Like, there's nowhere you can do that now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all over 1,000, even for like a shit shack.
Yeah. And, I mean, the house wasn't very big, but it was great for.
I mean, I think that was reasonable though. What you were paying for the house you guys had, yeah.
No. I think that's completely reasonable.
That house probably now goes for $1,200-$1,300 a month.
Easy, bro.
Yeah.
Easy, and that's an enormous amount of money.
Yes.
So, for those who live on the island and have whatever kind of money coming in, have plenty of money. That's not a worrisome task. They like the idea of everything staying. Okay, I want to have the small town feel. I want it to be this way, and
They don't see the real effects of it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But there's people who grow up here, go to high school here, and they want to move out and like start their life, but they have to pay $1,400 for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To live in a house with like 9 other people, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, it's not right. And I just, it goes to, you know, you and Bookie's point is that, yeah, you have to progress, you know? Like,
oh, here we go. Okay, I'm using the fucking words.
oh, geez.
You running for city council?
Politician words.
It's just common sense. Okay?
We just have to progress. We got to be progressive in how we.
No, but we have,
approach this.
yeah, but like, just to go what you said, like, we have to make those moves, you know?
Yeah, I obviously I brought it up, so I completely agree. It's one of those things, like you stated. You know, if you're bought in, you know, when I say buy in, you have a house, you have land, you're here already. As things go in, or as things continue to increase, meaning the ability, or the want to move here, you're fine. If anything, you're happy because every year you look, your house went up 5%, you know, which is great. But
15.5,
Yeah,
15 or
15
5?
and a half, or 15
15.75.
2.5.
But and like you say, Cam, if you're someone who grew up here and wants to move out and eventually own a house here, well, fuck, what economy is here that will make you or give you the ability to actually buy a house now here?
That goes back to the whole, you know, what we talked about in one of the earlier episodes with the whole train thing. They fought tooth and nail to fight this train from coming through here. And, you know, instead of fighting for maybe getting a stop here, now it's coming through here and we don't have a stop.
Yeah.
You know, so like, you know, you could have brought in a lot of people, like you said, that want to stay here, can't afford it because there's no industry here. You know, they could have hopped on the train and been in Orlando in an hour, not have to deal with driving there, and worked in Orlando and come home.
Exactly.
Yep. And the reason there's no industry here is a product of what we were just talking about.
Yep,
They want to
exactly.
keep it the same. They don't want it to,
Yeah.
you know, they don't want these big businesses to come in and dirty up the landscape.
Yeah, I remember years ago, it was like right after they built the Ruby Tuesdays in Sebastian. Great chain, by the way. Great chain. You know, of all the chains that they could have allowed.
The fact that I remember that.
Yeah,
is
awesome.
it's
You know,
crazy.
good move for them. But I remember after they built that, they were like, yeah, we're not doing chains in Sebastian anymore.
At least build a Chili's. Like,
Really?
come on.
Yeah. But then they built that Burger King, so I'm not really sure what they meant
That's
by
in
that.
Roseland, I think, though, technically.
It's like not in the city limits.
Oh, what, the Ruby Tuesdays?
The Burger King. Or is the
Oh.
Ruby Tuesdays after?
Ruby Tuesdays is more north.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
so I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's still within Sebastian like city limits, but I mean, regardless, that just, you know, like we we're just talking about, they don't let anything grow in Sebastian, and then they're like, well, why aren't, you know, young people buying houses here? Like, 'cause
Because
what
they
the
can't
fuck do you
afford
want them to do? Work at fucking Raceway and, you know, a racetrack, whatever the hell that gas station is?
Jeez. Yeah, and it's like you always say, Nick, it's government creating a problem and government trying to solve that problem.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. Well,
Where if everyone in government would just shoot themselves in the face, you know, we'd be out of this mess.
yeah,
Yeah, if they did nothing, a lot of us would be better off.
for sure.
It's the truth.
It is true. I could just imagine though, like somebody's like, no more chain restaurants, and then someone's like, but what about a Whopper with cheese? You know, like, but what
Yeah.
about a Whopper with cheese?
I have a proposition for
It's
you.
like, I don't want to drive out to, what's that road? Fuck.
512?
Yeah, no,
595?
Wabasso. It's like, I don't want to drive to Wabasso to get a Whopper and cheese
Oh,
anymore.
yeah, there is one down there. That was God, that Burger King just gives me the creep.
Well, that's
Yeah.
gone now, right?
Yeah, they moved it
Yeah.
by the
I
Dunkin'.
don't really
So
go like that section of US 1. I never, from like 510 to Barber, I'm like I almost never drive on that section of US
You
1.
always take 66?
Well, no, where
66,
my house is, like if I want to go to Publix, I go through Barber.
Oh.
And like there's nothing in between 510 and Barber on US 1 there that I'd really, you know.
There's
Paul's
nothing-
Guns,
there's nothing-
baby! Paul's Guns!
Yeah.
Paul's Guns.
Is it? Oh yeah, it isn't. Yeah, it is in
Yeah.
between there. Yeah. No, R&R, my homies, that's where I go.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll probably
agree.
get into that subject more, though, about as the city council goes on, you know, what locally has been
Yeah, we'll
done.
have an update.
Yeah.
When
Well,
we get
just
there.
more like the local politics that have happened over time, not any specific thing, but have created what we live in now, which could be good and could be bad. And it's all going to have ups and downs.
Yeah.
But
Probably
let's get-
mostly downs, but
Yeah. More than likely. Let's get to the last guy, though.
Yeah.
Clint Phipps.
Clint Phipps.
Clint, what's up? Clip.
He is somebody who did not grow up here, and he does not have a lot about him This is his first race he's running for, and as far as I can tell, his first, city council running, no matter where he lived.
I love his quotes though. He's just like just a good old boy, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this big blob of words. So let's go with this. This is I found this I think on his Facebook that was for his running campaign. My experience with owning and operating an excavating business has me trained in many aspects of building, and this I would like to share. Responsible building is important to our community. Such things as sanitary systems need to be addressed as to keep nitrogen leaching into our groundwater and deteriorating our waterways, eventually killing the fish and the in-river lagoons, such as the manatees. We need to initiate a plan to curb building so we do not have a boom all at once, which will strain our infrastructure. Our entire drainage system for many of our roadways has roads flooding during rainstorms, needs to be addressed. We hear others talk about it. This is my field of expertise. I have the knowledge and the experience. Sebastian thrives with tourism. We need to capitalize on this and encourage more businesses to come to Sebastian. I'm laughing because he's like contradicting himself in a sense, which will create more revenue in terms of taxes to help ease the burden on homeowners and businesses. We also need more businesses in terms as boutiques, supply, and other private businesses. Imagine businesses such as Bicycle Shop, a Trader Joe's, or Aldi in Sebastian.
I can fuck with that. A bike shop. I don't know what the fuck.
He's a big biker.
We had a bike shop, and it was open for like 5 years.
All his pictures are him on a road bike.
So judging by the Sebastian, people running's talking points, we would not get very far with the Kill the Manatees initiative. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I don't know what like the big push is to save these fuckers.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like,
we gotta.
If I'm gonna be as bold to say, people who want to save the manatees, who are running for office, I think they may sexually seduce these manatees.
Yeah. I can't think of any other reasonable explanation.
I think they like to get that hose out by the river, get that fresh water, so they come up to them and just slip something in there.
I think the government people see a lot of themselves in the
tight.
manatees. They're just like big, bloated, useless fucking creatures.
Yeah, I don't know.
Couldn't say that better myself.
Yeah, I don't know what they really provide for anything.
Well, my issue is
except maybe like a little excitement when you hit them with your boat.
a little speed bump.
Yeah, you're like shit. Was that a dolphin? No, just a manatee. We're
keep going.
Yeah. I remember dolphins aren't idiots; they actually stay away.
Yeah,
dude, dolphins are very smart.
Dolphins ride the waves, bro.
Yeah,
God, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were out on the boat a couple weekends ago, and we had the fucking dolphins. They ride the wake of the.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I've had them like right next to the back of my boat. Was right next to me and just swimming, and you could like reach down and touch them.
Dude, you don't realize how big they are until they come up by your boat. We were fishing one time right where all the sailboats are in Vero, and
that's kind of where I was.
Yeah, I was with I don't remember. It was with my buddy, and we had some friends on the boat. And we were just like catching jack and shit, and I mean they know, bro. They're smart.
Oh yeah,
they follow the jack to the boat. You unhook them, throw them in there, and then they just crush them.
Oh yeah.
We were like, we were basically hand feeding them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dolphins will fuck shit up, dude.
Yeah, dolphins are gnarly.
I don't know if I actually heard of this ever happening, but I feel like at some point I did. Like they'll fucking attack dogs in the water. I think.
Damn.
Maybe I don't know.
Well, next time we'll just throw a dog in there.
Yeah, we'll test it out.
We'll bring
Moses.
Yeah, we'll bring Moses out in the water.
Not my dog.
He's big enough.
What's your
Rufus?
No, not Rufus. Dog wouldn't attack Rufus. Your sister-in-law's dog.
Oh, Arlo. The little shit.
Poor little Arlo.
Alyssa will never listen to this. But we're just kidding.
They play too, like with their food and stuff. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean they rape.
Yeah.
They rape other dolphins.
Yeah, apparently
they get pleasure from sex.
I don't know how they know this, but they said that they're like the only. Yeah, they're the only other mammal that has sex for pleasure or something like that.
And like rape, like what, the other one's like, I didn't consent. Like what is going on?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Not to go on a tangent, but the people like
wait, Cameron, you might be onto something, dude. I think we need to get some Activision going on here.
Yeah,
like scientists who are super in depth into dolphins are like, I'm gonna watch these fuckers fuck. Like
that's probably a weird dude, right? Like just like
I'm glad you're doing it, but at the same time, like, can you watch this guy to make sure he's not doing anything else weird?
Just hammer fisting his nuts watching these dogs, these dolphins.
Oh man! But I don't know. Just to say not a couple things, but one of you want.
Hey, we're demonetized.
Yeah, about Phipps. I don't know. What do you think about that blurb? So, he talked about like not growing too fast, but at the same time selectively growing.
Yeah. He's like, we don't want to grow, but if it's an Aldi's
and
or
the
a
bike
Trader Joe's, they got some good fucking dips. Now, I might be into that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's, again, it's almost echoes what everybody else has said when it comes to progress and, preserving what our small town is. But at the same time...
Unless you're a large business.
Yeah, but at the same time, if it benefits me or it's something I want, I don't fucking care. I want it.
Dude, I almost shit myself when we got that the Tractor Supply. I was like, holy shit, hell froze over.
I mean, it's pretty much in Fellsmere, so...
Yeah.
With nothing wrong with Fellsmere, but it's fucking far if you live in town.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of the bigger development is happening right around the exits for I-95. Like up in Palm Bay and stuff, it's like crazy. They got like everything. They got Hooters. They got a church right next to the Hooters. They got,
Red Wing, you want to get some boots, go to church, and then see some boobs?
Yeah.
Palm Bay.
It's typical Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, just a Sunday evening, Sunday morning.
Pa, where can we go after church?
Yeah.
I'll get some good wing at Hooters.
I need some boots and I need some titties in my face with some wings.
Oh, man.
And then we're going to go Bass Pro.
Yeah.
But one last thing I want to ask that he brought up in that blurb was the flooding in Sebastian. Is that a thing that happens?
Yeah, kind of. There's some roads in Sebastian that they've gotten better over the years. They're putting more, retention kind of things and better drainage and stuff. But yeah, there's some roads. My uncle, God rest his soul, but he actually there was a bad rainstorm and for whatever reason he thought his little Buick could drive through 4 feet of water, and his
sucks.
Car stalled out. And, he was older, not the most agile guy. So obviously you couldn't like crawl out of his window, but some guy in a big lifted truck pulled up and he just opened his door and car was flooded, totaled his car. But there's a couple bad roads in Sebastian that, I wouldn't say it's like a top priority. Like if I was running for a political seat or something, I don't think I would really.
Just in general, I just feel like the area.
Yeah, I don't know.
Itself,
it's not like a.
I think it sounds
huge
like
topic.
something, considering his line of work that he came from. I think it's something that he's familiar with.
He seen it. He saw it, and
and he knows a lot
relate.
about it. So he, he talks about it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about shit you don't know anything about, right?
I mean, unless you're a politician running for office.
Right.
Or your politics on the Rockcast.
Yeah,
but we're right about
Just
everything.
kidding. We know everything. And we're never wrong, so.
Oh, man. So that's Sebastian. That's the Sebastian City Council. People
That's our
voting.
council talk, yeah? Your council member talk?
Yeah. I don't know. For me, and I know Cam brought up, we don't talk about it too long. I want to get up some good questions and send them out to all the people who are running.
I think it'd be good.
See if anybody, answers them, sends it back. And then if those people do, I think that's a good way to follow up and get hopefully some of these people on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
hopefully we'll fucking figure out these technical issues before. God,
Yeah.
This is really frustrating.
But
I don't want to say nothing, jinx it, but.
we'll update everybody on that when that happens. Yeah, so let's get into what's been going on for this past week or so.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, probably, right? Biden.
Is, what did he do? Did he do something?
Well, the people controlling him.
Yeah. His puppet masters.
Who wants to lay that out? I'm sure most people know what happened, but still.
So he did the what? Oh, I thought something went wrong with the recording again.
No,
he enacted an executive order saying that all federal employees have to get vaccinated, and also
contractors,
any, private company with 100 or more employees has to get all their employees vaccinated.
Vaccinated or they take weekly tests.
Right. And didn't something else happen just like today? Some additional vaccine mandates.
Oh yeah, fuck! I just damn it. Let me
he'll look that up.
I
think I did see something.
Yeah, he just did something else today.
Oh yeah. Okay, 1 second. I got it right here.
But I think what we were talking about was that he's basically seeing how far he can push, or they're seeing how far they can push before people say no. And eventually, hopefully that's going to happen. But yeah, he just wants to get, an additional couple percentage of people vaccinated or whatever the case may be. But,
he's withholding the veterans benefits for unvaccinated people. I thought I posted something.
VA benefits.
Did I post it on something else? Yeah, fucking, I think that's absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of these people aren't even in anymore. And it's like I was saying earlier off air, it's like these people worked their whole career with the, knowledge that they were going to be taken care of when they retired. And then you just take it away from them based on some arbitrary medical decision that you believe they should get, but isn't necessarily proven effective. So,
yeah,
and even if it was, it shouldn't be mandated. Period.
Yeah, that's been like I just don't understand the push for this vaccine, because it's not it doesn't stop you from getting COVID. It doesn't stop you from spreading it. So why, what is this big push for the mandate?
Yeah, it's really, as far as I see it, the line of logic is, if the vaccine is effective, why do other people need to get it to protect you?
Right.
And if it's not effective, then why are you insisting that people take it?
I was about to say, it works both ways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that is a completely logical line of reasoning, and it totally eliminates any, mandate, any justification for the mandate. And, I don't know. Whenever I bring that up in a comment section or something, I typically just get called like a narcissist or a, just all sorts of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to get on the COVID stuff again, but for me, it's more focusing on what he actually did. That is ridiculous that he, and again, when we say he, just know that we're stating the people who run him as well.
Right.
That
because people are like, he doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, we fucking know that.
But still, he's the puppet that we see and says these things.
Right.
But that he put executive order in mandating American citizens get the vaccine, and first you can not that you can, but you can say, okay, well, they're federal employees and he runs somewhat of the federal government. But still, that's not morally right in my opinion. And the fact that he went, which is ridiculous, a step, or you could say a full flight of stairs above that, and was going to tell private companies who have 100 or more employees that your employees need to be vaccinated or take a test. Mm-hmm. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I other people have said this, so it's nothing crazy to say. It's hard for me to hear that what he's saying and say, what did Trump do that's even close to that? Trump's not a great president or a great politician or good at all with most things, but I don't remember him stepping his toes into the dictatorship that much.
Yeah, but Trump was the fascist, right?
He was literally Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people will be like, well, he's not saying you have to get vaccinated, you can take a test, and blah, blah, and he's not saying it's actually OSHA going through. It's like, well, fuck, yeah, you can say all that, but it's coming from him, and him tiptoeing around the idea, and you could even go effect and say, who the fuck is OSHA to tell me what I have to do with my business?
Right.
When it comes to vaccinations, and I could even say a step further, what the fuck I do with my business, regardless of what OSHA is supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Since OSHA does nothing.
Yeah, except piss you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been wild to see, that's for sure. As Cameron would say, weird times.
Weird times. I mean, at this point, it's not even weird times. It's like, these are times where things get crazy. And I know people say all the time when something happens, but, I would assume, and as things have happened since he's spouted that, there are a lot of legal battles going on now. States have trying to nullify it, and more than likely will win in court. But still, this sets a precedent that should not be set.
That's the scariest part, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
People are, they like to overlook that, but it's like, yeah, and anything that the government does, like you just said, it's just setting a precedent for future.
Yeah, I mean,
if they can use this emergency to push, the abolishment of your medical freedom, what else can they do You know,
Mm-hmm.
like what other freedoms can they abolish?
Also, you already mentioned it, Book, but like the back way they went about doing it, like using like some small like government agency like OSHA,
Yeah,
like some bull crap, and
Right.
like try to push something like so. I mean, to me, that's pretty serious.
yeah.
To push that on the entire United States.
Well, and that's like something that Chris brought up when we talked about Nikki Fried and the Department of Agriculture handling with the concealed carries permits in Florida. It's like you're politicizing these agencies that are not political at all, like Department of
shouldn't be
Agriculture. Right,
political.
exactly.
yeah, right. Or OSHA.
And it's just not to just repeat the point, but it's just setting that precedent that now agencies that are not political, that are just like enforcement agencies like OSHA, they enforce safety shit. It's like now they're being politicized, and it won't be long before every fucking agency has some sort of political standing in the arena,
Right.
and
They're being used as
you're
weapons.
getting just dicked by every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're being weaponized,
Yeah.
for whatever political party is, in the place at the time.
Yeah.
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 And it's funny because like a lot of the people who were totally against the vaccines when they first came out because they were Trump's vaccine at the time are now just like all on board with this stuff. And it's really funny to see these like juxtaposition memes where it's like
I love those.
them
Yeah.
a year and a half, like the same exact person a year and a half ago talking about I'm not taking any rushed vaccine from Trump, blah,
It's
blah,
like
blah.
mandates for all.
Well, I mean, there are a bunch of jackasses because it really is his vaccine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one that pushed it too.
Operation Warp
Right.
Speed.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. And they'll be
so
like,
the fact that he can even take credit for it is bullshit to start with. You know what I'm saying? Because it really is his vaccine in that regards. But
It's Trump's vaccine, not Biden's. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just make sure everybody follow along.
Okay, yeah, right. But it's just it's
And Trump himself took it, so
yeah.
Yeah. Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I really don't know. I'm just asking.
No, you're right. I mean, even Biden himself did that whole
Yeah.
move where it's like,
We-
who's going to take it?
Yeah, right. But we all know the real vaccine is ivermectin.
Yes.
That's true.
That's a whole nother, like, the media knows that it's safe. The media knows that it's been used since the 70s. The
But
media
it won a
knows,
Nobel Peace Prize.
The
in
media knows it
2015.
won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2015. The media knows there's like a statistical zero, number of adverse reactions. It's one of the essential drugs listed by the CDC itself, which is very, very difficult for a drug to get that title.
Right.
And, now it's like they're reducing it down to it's a horse dewormer.
Right.
Like that's one of like
So
40 or
dishonest.
50 things that it's used for.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, like Rolling Stone went as far as to release
Yeah,
that.
that was crazy.
That
to see.
Total
crazy
lie.
of an argument.
Just
lie
a
of
blatant lie. And you know what?
Yeah.
That article is still up.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that they'd have
For,
would have deleted it by now.
Yeah.
Because it's
people
been
who-
debunked by like
Yeah.
7 or 8 different like huge
Yeah.
news organizations.
I mean, it was a complete lie.
For people who don't
blatant.
know,
Yeah, give us a rundown.
Yeah, for people who don't know, they said that that the
Gunshot victim.
yeah, that ivermectin. Basically, people were taking the horse version of ivermectin, which comes in a paste form. You can buy it at Tractor Supply for pretty cheap.
Which
And,
don't let them fool you. I've injected that into my asshole for the last 2 months, and I've been in contact with COVID many of times.
I've
And he
seen
can
it.
also talk to horses.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so they were saying that that it was it was clogging up the system in these hospitals and in places in Oklahoma that the hospitals were overrun with these ivermectin people and that it was preventing gunshot victims from seeing medical care. Yeah. And it's like all right, just on the surface, how many gunshot victims are there in Oklahoma?
Exactly.
Just like from a surface level view, like don't even look into it at all.
There's probably 4 all year.
There's not a lot of gunshot victims in Oklahoma, unless you're like in Oklahoma City. We all know, well, actually, I guess that's in Missouri, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most of it. So, but yeah, it's just, from the surface, it should have been pretty fucking obvious that there was something fishy about this story. And they all ran with it. The Hill, I think, reposted it, or reran it. Rachel Maddow reran it.
And then the hospital-
People will say that that it's dangerous for people with a large audience to spread misinformation like Joe Rogan, and then they won't say shit when Rachel Maddow, who has over 1 million person following, reposts this blatant lie as if it's true.
Yeah, and the hospital so they had one former employee. The employee doesn't even work there anymore. That was their air quotes source for this article. The hospital itself came out and said that, one, that employee doesn't even work here anymore and we have no association with him. And two, that's not true at all.
Yeah.
The hospital itself came out and said that, and it was, it fell on deaf ears. So.
Yeah, the guy hadn't worked there for like months or something. It's a straight lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
It all comes back to, the left and the right. There's hypocrites. I mean, the right will say, you guys blame us for not the right itself, but like Joe Rogan obviously is the big one that the left is always going after because he has such a big audience. You have to be careful who you have on because, again, like you said, misinformation. But they don't fucking care about misinformation. It's just they just want to complain, and if they misinform, they don't fucking care. Maddow hasn't said anything. What the fucking Rolling Stones talks about these days, I guess, is about ivermectin. They don't care, and it's getting to the point where it's like, dude, I just don't care anymore about what anybody on the political ends have to say about like COVID. It's like I think it's pretty clear, like on like a basis of the knowledge we have that's true, and you either not believe it, but either believe that we need to take the vaccine because if not, the world's going to explode, or you believe it's just going to be here and people with natural immunity are stronger, so why the fuck are you going to get a vaccine on top of that? And it's just crazy.
That's another really good point about this whole vaccine push. It's like I don't think there's anybody that, I mean, even Fauci himself, he was pressed by
Ron or Ran.
No. Man, I can't remember who the fuck it was, but he was pressed basically on the fact that the natural immunity is much stronger and longer lasting, and basically, they were asking him like, what is the protocol going to be with that? Obviously, people that have gotten, that have had it have better immunity. It lasts longer. So, like, is there any sort of like exemption for them? Like, do they still have to get the vaccine to be able to work and provide for their families? And he himself was like, "Oh, I don't know." It's like,
yeah, he had no response.
And you know what cracks me up about that is he has a fucking response for everything, right? He has a response for how to safely have butt sex.
They're still working on that one.
Yeah, like okay. I don't remember where I was going with that.
Yeah,
but yeah,
butt
it's
sex.
just butt sex. Fauci likes butt sex.
it's just it's
from
just,
horses that are on ivermectin.
Yeah, he loves the ivermectin.
Tom Woods brought up this great quote from Glenn Greenwald that I don't have it in front of me. It was really good though. He was talking about how this whole misinformation campaign that's happening right now, it's paid for by the exact corporations and like overbearing government entities that are pushing this entire thing. It's literally just a campaign to control the narrative, and it's very obvious to anybody who's paying attention. But people will take it and run with it just because that's what the authorities said, I guess.
Yeah, people are so fucking dumb.
But one thing that's nice in Florida is Anthony Sabatini is pushing hard for an emergency meeting to ban all vaccine mandates in the state, which is great. But he's yet to be able to get an emergency meeting for it. But they've had an emergency meeting for legalizing gambling in Florida.
Yeah.
But they haven't had
that is addressing a air quotes pandemic.
Yeah.
I think today didn't they just get on the books for a no vaccine mandates for federal employees or state employees?
I'm not sure.
I think that was just released today.
I seen something recently, DeSantis, and I don't know. I remember seeing this, weeks and months ago or whatever. But I guess the whole $5,000 fine for any public employer, requiring vaccine credentials. that I guess was reinstated. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up because I think.
Yeah, but Sabatini's trying to push for ban on vaccine mandates for private companies as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
good.
I don't know if I agree with that though. I morally I agree with it. Like I don't think that should happen.
Right.
But I don't know. It gets like I understand why he's doing it, but it just gets to a weird place in my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this is again like I can't. Those of you that don't know this episode, it's spanned over 2 weeks because that dumbass spilt whiskey on the mixing board. But so I can't remember if I said it this week or this episode or last episode. But are we giving them too much credit? Like, are we like holding too tightly to like libertarian principles when it comes to this kind of stuff? Like, because you could argue it from both sides, right? Like, this is an infringement on how people run private business. But yeah, okay, but it's also an infringement on your medical, rights. Like
Yeah, it doesn't prevent individuals from getting vaccinated. It just prevents the company from mandating that they get
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Bookie said he doesn't agree with that. So I'm assuming it's based on the principle that it's your business. You should be able to run. Yeah. So like, are we being too, are we getting too lost in the minute details? Like, should we just be against this across the board?
I mean, we could be. I mean, it's definitely a principle thing. But for me, I have to hold my for me personally, I have to hold my principles.
No, and you're completely right. But what I'm saying is like you can argue it from both sides, right?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, it's an infringement on the business owner from being able to run their business how they want, right?
Yeah.
But couldn't you also argue that it's also an infringement on the person's right to like their own medical decisions?
Yeah, but you're not forced to work there. That's
what I'm saying. Like, are we getting like are we giving these companies too much like grace?
Well,
like,
I mean, so I just want to because I see both of you guys.
No, and
hold on, wait.
While I argue this with you, Bookie, I'm in the same place mentally.
No,
so
I understand. I don't care.
I'm not.
I just want to say one thing real fast. Sorry, we're all like. It's the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, not to interrupt you.
So Sabatini posted this today. Today, Florida took a good first step by banning public sector employee vaccine mandates. So.
Okay. So it went through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I don't know if that's an executive order, which we've talked about it so many times that doesn't hold up as well as actually passing legislative law. But he does reinstate that he wants to protect medical freedom for private sectors.
So I wonder if this is going to be like a retroactive thing because, like I said again, I don't know if it was this episode or last episode, but I have a friend who, was, I don't know if he was fired or forced to quit. I don't know how that works, but he was basically let go from one of these country clubs for not getting the vaccine. So like, is it going to work retroactively? Like, are they going to have to, reinstate his employment there?
For the private sector, if it actually passes?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That'd be interesting.
But what'd you have, Kim?
No, I just wanted to comment on you guys' little spout there. So I think like I agree with both of you guys' points, but does a private business have the right to your medical information? You know what I'm saying? Like if I
that's kind of the point that I'm getting.
I know that it is, and that's why I want to say it. Like does the company have the right to know like all the details of my life? Like I understand that a private company, they're providing the job. It's their job that they're allowing me to be employed for.
Right, but how much privacy do you need to forfeit?
Exactly. So where is the line that is drawn there and say, look, yes, I'll work for this company and I understand the deal here, but you don't need to know like the details of my life. Mm-hmm. And the details of my life may consist that maybe they say, okay, you have to get the vaccine. I'll say, all right, I got it. What now? Do I have to provide something? Do I have to show them that I actually got the vaccine? So like that sort of privacy and those details, I think is where the line is sort of drawn, because, I mean, I understand both you guys' points, but I mean, how much does the private company actually need to know about the details of your health and so forth?
Yeah, I think they need to be mindful about how they word this legislation because, I think they're kind of caught up in the moment with vaccine mandates, and so they're kind of gearing everything towards that. But I think really what the goal is to protect medical freedom. You know, that's what the goal should be, is that people have a right to, you know, pursue their medical well-being in whatever way they see fit. And, I don't think that's a private company's business.
Yeah.
What their individuals.
And that's kind of, you know, that's just kind of what the point I was making. It's like, you know, you could argue from both sides, but at the end of the day, like, are we being too hypercritical about, our ideas and philosophy on the private market and, you know, being able to run a business as freely as you want, you know, in conjunction with, you know, your individual rights and liberties? It's like, you get this kind of weird clash of, like, you know, just all the shit we've basically just been saying.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's a weird clash, but I think it should happen.
Happen in what way? What do you mean?
Like, I think
conversation.
Yeah, I think it should happen where the
private
private sector says, or certain business in the private sector say, hey, if you want to work for us, you're going to have to show us that you've been vaccinated or whatever medical history they want to see. And if you don't want to work for them, that's something you want to put up for them, then yeah. If not, then you don't. Because for me, it comes down to, I don't agree with that. And that's something that, yes, I would want medical freedom instated by the government. But my principle would come back to the fact, well, I really don't want the government having that much hand in the private sector at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for me, it kind of stops. Like, for me, it just stops that at there.
Yeah.
But
and that's an extremely fair point.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because I mean, in a sense, you're right. But
and it sucks that would happen.
At the same time, like Cameron was just saying, like, where do you draw the line? So, like, okay, say for instance, you know, my job out of nowhere was just like, hey, you know, we have this new policy where we have to peer into your asshole.
Yeah. I don't think
like,
that
I have is that something that I really should have to submit to in order to
asshole?
Yeah, like, you know, like, obviously that's a very
it's a good point
case,
though, because
but like where do you draw the line where, like, okay, that's not acceptable, and where, like, okay, yeah, that's reasonable. And like, you know, again, I don't think, you know, just to reiterate what you were saying, I don't think the government has any place to tell a business, you know, hey, that's too far, or that's not far. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't really know how I stand on that, because on the surface, yeah, I don't think the government should have any say in how a owner conducts business, but at the same time, like, where does that draw the line? You know,
I just don't think a business that instates something like that. You know, obviously, you're using a far out, but even like we're seeing it right now with the vaccine mandate, there's tons of employees leaving. That business is not going to survive in a free market.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. It's like, you know, we always talk about how, like, you know, for some of these, like, anarchist and libertarian ideas to work, they need to work, like, broad stream, you know what I mean? So, like, right now, you know, all these companies are doing it because they're being told to, so it's like, it doesn't really work right now, because while some all these employees are losing people, well, where are those people going to go? Because right now, well, I guess, you know, since Desantis is, you know, fighting back, but it's like, where would these employees go otherwise? Because we don't have a true true free market. So it's like,
yep,
that was one thing I saw was one perspective was someone was saying, oh, this is great, you know, they're instituting all these mandates on 100+ employees, so Biden's actually revitalizing small business.
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw that one meme where it's like the kid crying with a gun, and it's like when my 100th employee walks in. No, I mean, it's a good conversation to have when it comes to, like, you know, principles and how far you go. And I think it's something when people who are liberty-minded or are interested in being liberty-minded, or are looking into, like, how do your principles work out in the real life, or how would it, you know, you think it would.
Yeah.
It's never going to be pretty. Like, I think that's something that I have come to realize. Having an actual free market is never going to be pretty, but I think the end result is always going to be better than what we have now.
Yeah, long term, I think it would get prettier.
There's always going to be bumps, right? There's going to be companies that are like, fuck, I really want to look inside my employees' assholes every week. Right? Who knows? Maybe they get like 5% to actually allow that.
Yeah.
But over a month or 2 months, that business isn't around anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, but again, like, just to kind of jump back to what I was saying, that works in a truly free market.
True, which
right.
we don't have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, like, all the companies are being told that they need to do this. Whereas if it was a true free market, you'd have the companies that are like, nah, we don't really give a fuck about this, so come work for us. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just hate the fact that, like, and we brought this up before, how this push from Biden and probably won't go through in the sense that, like, these actual mandates probably will fall apart in court. But he's setting a precedent, right? And people are going to react to it regardless if it actually gets implemented. And so, like, he's changing the market by doing that.
Yeah.
And he's pushing companies regardless if it all falls due and becomes a real mandate. Like, he's changing the market by doing that. Mm-hmm. And the whole propaganda machine about COVID and everything else has changed. Has changed the whole stream of business and so forth.
For sure.
And I don't know. It's just it's affected everything. I don't know. So yeah. So when you talk about like a completely free market, there's so much at work here, where people are believing things that aren't necessarily true.
But the scary thing is it could be true, and that's why so much will be affected by what he says.
Yeah.
Because you can believe he has that power, and that could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like some guy, it could be like Chris could be standing on the side of 58th and screaming the same thing, but no one's going to listen to him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I'm homeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's actually Biden's actually in a place of power where the Congress has given up so much power to the executive branch, where they just fucking do whatever they want. And if you want to call him a dictator, I don't think you're that far off right now from calling any president.
I think I think that you bring up another good point. So many people are. I don't know if you guys probably watch a lot of the stories I post, but I did another Nazi comparison.
Oh,
Chris did too. Actually, I had to steal one of his because he's way smarter than I am and is a lot
Nazi
nicer.
comparisons are hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, how can they not be?
And
but I got a lot of shit again.
And anybody who says like, it's not the same thing, or even if you say echoes, use something else. Like, there's other atrocities that happen. Yeah, but everybody can relate to the Nazi thing.
Right,
Yeah.
we all
No one's gonna point out the thing that happens in South Africa.
hammered down our throats.
Yeah, no one knows. Everybody knows about that analogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, remember when that one tribe annihilated the other tribe?
I can't help but think about, like, many of the people who are in favor of this type of mandate weren't in favor of other types of mandates that came about in the past. And I'm sure people are probably saying, why is Chris always bringing up AIDS? I don't know what his deal is, but if there was a mandate where employers had to ask their employees if they have AIDS, and if they do, then they're not allowed to work there. I'm sure most of these people who are advocating for these vaccine mandates would not be for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. That's something that they tried doing years ago, right?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure. I should know that, considering how much I bring up AIDS.
Yeah, you have something you want to tell us, dude?
I think it's a funny, it's just a funny thing to, like, juxtapose with this mandate, because it just displays the inconsistencies between some people's logic, where they were totally fine with, people with a contractable disease working, free of any coercion whatsoever, but whenever it comes to this, all of a sudden they want, like, straight up medical fascism to be implemented. And I don't know, I just think that's interesting, because it's a lot of the same people. So,
and obviously, Chris isn't saying COVID's just like AIDS.
It's exactly like AIDS.
Before anybody gets fucking riled up.
I'll be honest with you guys. I'm still not convinced COVID's real.
What is that thing? I keep seeing it hasn't been isolated yet. Is that
really a thing? It's people?
Yeah.
What do you mean isolated?
You know how, like, a virus can be, like, isolated, like, into its pure form?
Oh, right.
Like, it
right.
supposedly hasn't been isolated into, like, a single molecule yet.
Yeah, like the actual, like, the very base component.
I wonder,
Right.
like, this is a...
Yeah, it's the spiky tennis ball,
Since we're on the topic of AIDS, and it kind of brought something up to my mind.
You got a little problem when you pee?
No, Not yet.
Burning? No. Okay.
It'd be interesting to put up a timeline of how the AIDS was it an epidemic or was it a
Yeah, it was an epidemic.
right? So it'd be interesting to have an AIDS epidemic timeline versus or next to the COVID pandemic, because if you look at the AIDS, they thought some weird shit when that first thing came out, right?
Oh,
People
yeah.
wouldn't touch people who had AIDS.
Stuff that wasn't true at all.
They
right?
were like, yeah, exactly. And you can kind of see.
I still don't touch people with AIDS. That shit's gross.
Do they take that pill now? They can't even show up and test.
Really?
Yeah, I see it on TV, so it must be true.
They're trying to trap you.
But yeah, it's very interesting. Again, this is not the same government, but no, actually, Fauci was part of it. So yeah, same government.
Yeah.
Where they were like, yeah, fuck, don't touch the people. Or maybe if they didn't say that, somehow that got passed along, and there's all these misconceptions. And then fucking years later, they're actually, I had to pass blood and pass the mucous membrane to actually contact it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Fauci was actually instrumental in
So-
convincing people that they were dying from AIDS when it was actually the medication they were taking was actually killing them.
Quick little local story regarding AIDS. Because
Welcome to the AIDS podcast.
yeah. So my wife is studying dental hygiene, and one of her teachers wrote her what is it called when you get
Dissertation?
her dissertation on I believe on AIDS. So I probably get along with her pretty well. But anyways, she told them a story about.
Were you her test subject?
Yeah. There was a dentist in Fort Pierce who I think it was in the 90s or the early 2000s. It spanned over a few years. He had AIDS, and he started to lose his mind, because it's kind of what happens with AIDS when it goes untreated. And he started he started putting his blood in the I believe it's like nitrous oxide, the
That's what it is. Yeah,
the laughing gas. Yeah, he would inject it into the line and try to give people AIDS. And he gave 3 or 4 people AIDS.
Fucking
People that were in their
lunatic.
20s and 30s.
I remember there was a big thing too where people were putting dirty AIDS needles under the gas, the gas.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Was that real though? Because I feel like every year we get the same thing. I found this in my kid's candy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
I
There
don't
is
know.
The blades
I don't
on an
know.
apple.
Sounds
I don't know. I remember seeing an article about it though years and years ago where
Sounds like Rolling Stone.
The same media that.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying that. There's always that stuff going around.
Dude, but back in the 80s and 80s and I think the 90s too,
Yeah.
Fort Pierce had a huge, a high percentage of AIDS
In the country.
in the country.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, super high. So thanks to Dr. Dentist over there. you know.
Yeah.
Fucking not helping at all.
I wish I remembered his name, but whatever.
Yeah.
Dr. Dentist.
But
Dr. Dentist.
I guess staying on local real fast, just before we go, to touch on something we talked about last episode, which is the Indian River School Board. They'll be meeting tomorrow to vote again on the mask mandate for kids.
Yeah, Cheryl was just talking about, was it Julia's school? Just last night.
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was eating crabs.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Some school, it's been you're just saying, it's been the 2 weeks, and a couple schools have not noticed any significant increase or decrease.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple schools that have, done away with the whole mask thing.
Good.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the state itself,
I think it was St. Helens.
St. Helens,
yeah.
probably, yeah.
yeah, they would. Which is a good
Just
thing.
Jesus is gonna save them.
just to give people some info if they want to look up what I said, is his name was the dentist was David Acer, like the computer Acer.
Oh,
damn.
nice. Spelled the same way.
So,
ACER. Nice.
That's a good
yeah.
name.
So if you want to look up that story, it's pretty interesting.
But in that last podcast, we talked about how, again, we'll find out tomorrow night what happens, and hopefully.
Are we gonna go to that?
I think things have happened. I can't go now, but I'll
Yeah.
definitely watch it.
I can't go either.
All right.
When is it?
Things have happened.
Tomorrow night.
It's like 6:30, I think.
Oh yeah, I definitely can't make it tomorrow.
Yeah,
But,
I'll be drinking whiskey. So
But yeah, so
Busy night.
maybe tomorrow.
maybe we could drink there.
Superintendent David Moore will say, "Hey, I was wrong. The mask didn't change anything."
Yeah. Okay.
he'll
Don't hold
definitely
your
say
breath.
But
Yeah, right.
as we stated the last episode, or the episode we talked about it, when you looked at the graph, what happened? As soon as they put the mandate in, not soon, obviously, but cases started going down. Why? Because it was a fucking spike.
Right. They were at the top of the spike.
And I swear, if tomorrow I watch that video and they're like, "Look what we did,"
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
swear,
fucking shit
Well,
in my
fuck,
house.
look at Israel.
I'm gonna drive over there drunk as shit, ready to. No, I'm just kidding.
no, but still, it's just like, and I can see that happening. It's
Let's
just gonna
go.
be so frustrating
Yeah.
because they think. You guys saw that thing he posted on Twitter, right? I sent it in the group.
Yeah.
That little like, "We're so courageous." Thanks to that judge for pretty much saying, "Well, thank God this judge did this
Just
because
deep
now
throwing himself.
yeah." It's like, dude, you're a piece of shit, man.
Gargling his own balls.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure next episode we'll have a lot to say.
Yeah. And the
When don't we?
the whole thing that he like hinged his entire argument on got like struck down, right, by a higher court judge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good one, Mr. Moore.
Yeah. Because this judge shot down what DeSantis did means that what I did was right. And now a week later, another judge shot down what that judge said. So
Yeah, and to
am I still right? I don't know.
and
'cause
to
it's
cap
not
that
morally.
off, I really don't give a shit what any of these judges say. Like, it really doesn't fucking matter what
Yeah.
they say. Like, they're all politically motivated. They can all go fuck themselves.
Exactly.
Like,
Boom, roasted.
just follow your morals.
Yeah. And you're not morally correct.
So
Or, yeah, not morally sound, I should say. But, yeah, I don't know. This stuff's more interesting. Well, the superintendent stuff's more interesting to me because it's local and it's like more real, I guess, to see what's going on.
mhm.
Definitely more interesting
yeah,
than
you
the
get to
city
see
council.
government in action.
But, yeah, so I guess next episode we'll see what happens with Biden, see if he forces everybody in labor camps or what happens.
Joe
Like
Biden.
Australia.
What do you think? You think he's going to be, well, it seems like everyone already forgot about Afghanistan, so I was going to say,
Maybe that's why he did it.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you guys think, he's going to, step down or be impeached over the
of
Afghan
course
thing?
not.
Yeah. I do think it's funny though how these Republicans were saying how he's just a puppet and Kamala's the true, that Biden's just gonna be a vehicle to usher in a true socialist president. They're gonna get rid of him in a year, 2 years, and how we can't let this happen. And now they're all shouting that he needs to be impeached and
Yeah.
resign.
And the
And
fact that anyone would think Kamala Harris is a true socialist, like she has no fucking principles. Like, what are you fucking
she
talking
just sucked
about?
her dick to the top, basically.
It sent people into jail for
The
smoking weed.
gulags.
I guess maybe she is a true communist. I don't know.
Shit, I don't know. We're approaching 3 hours. What do we think, boys? Anything else we want to talk about?
The weather's been nice
Yeah, it's that heat's starting to break. It feels pretty nice out here.
with that fan on.
Yeah.
Strange times out here.
All right, fine. All right. So, we owe you guys an episode at some point.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a double 1 week coming up here soon.
Yeah, we'll do something. We had some technical difficulties. I spilled a glass of whiskey on the mixing board.
Confessions.
Yeah, so
He says as his glass of whiskey's 1 inch from the mixing board.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it again probably soon. We got it back alive though. We took it apart and we got it back, so it's good to go. So yeah, we're giving you an extended episode. Maybe a little boring, but you know what? Fuck off.
Unfortunately, that's what local politics at the city level are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just trying to make people in our area a little more aware of just who the leaders are, who the potential.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so most.
Because otherwise you don't get this. I mean, you're not going to look this shit up. You're fucking lazy. You're not going to look this shit up on your own.
Well, and it's boring as crap. So I understand that.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: like most political type shows like this, it's like a stroking of your own ego and what you already believe, right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, Biden's a dictator, communist, son of a whatever.
Yeah.
And you agree with everything they have to say, and then you vote for your guy, and that's what you do. But I think local politics super important. You should know what's happening, and you should be informed when you go to the polls and vote for the person. Because otherwise you vote for whoever's name you like or whatever you do there.
Yeah.
It's not an informed decision.
Well, it's the R or the D next to their name.
Well, and this isn't.
Well, not
this
city
isn't
council,
it.
but yeah.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think it's super important, to be like informed and making an informed decision.
Yeah.
Especially stuff that really affects your life
Directly.
directly.
Yeah. And that was Whiskey Wisdom with Cam.
And with that,
with that, we're going to sing ourselves out of here.
And who is